Ay, ay, ay. Sweat like a damn pig here. Oh, wow, that aired out a lot. Oh my god. Oh, sweet Jesus.
I'm glad I don't have to wear that.
What?
I said I'm glad I don't have to wear those.
What? Oh, these?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking bastard. It's not like they're uncomfortable, but they get hot quick.
Yeah.
This isn't helping. This is not working. I thought it would work, but it's not. I'm gonna move this out of the way here. A little bit. Ugh.
So oh no, Scotty doesn't work on weekends.
Huh?
So Scotty doesn't work on weekends.
Of course not. Well, I don't know why it would. I mean, at least for right now, just because he doesn't have a way to do it. Oh, God, I hate this. Fucking nose. For like the past week, it's been like this. Jesus fucking Christ. So annoying. I'm doing this. Have fun looking at the roommate partially. Oh my god, because I gotta get like all deep into this gristle. Ugh. That's helping a little bit. Ah. Okay. Okay. That should be better for now. Until that flares up again. What flavor vape do you got there, roommate? What do you have for flavor vapes? Huh?
Same one I've had for a long time.
Well,
Lemon mint.
the lemon, yeah.
The tastiness.
Good God. Ugh. Bleh. There it is right there. Ooh, oh, well, that felt fucking tremendous. And amazing.
I got bit.
You got what?
I got bit by something.
Got bit by something? Well, that's potentially not good, depending on what it could be. Well, I don't know. If it kills me, it kills me. If it gives me superpowers, it gives me superpowers. But whatever. Who cares?
If up, I know I ain't going to work.
Flavor vape, vape flavor alcohol? Well, no. Until
we don't know. We're not there.
Well, it says passion fruit grape. He said it in the same comment, so. But it's just like, of course we're not going to know until you say it.
I've got 3. I got spearmint, strawberry ice, and lemon mint.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna go watch my video.
If one of you could just ensure the door is closed there so I don't have to hear that damn washing machine, because that's kind of a mild nuisance. Yay! Woo! Just a mild one, because I would myself, but I don't want to get up right now. I have firmly plopped myself. My ass is now firmly planted. And I'm not looking to reverse that process anytime soon. So. And to make mom go silly because she was up 48 hours on her laptop. What the fuck? Why was she on, like, her laptop for that long? What the hell? Like, yo. Even I would call it good Like, I've done some all-nighters, which realistically is more like 12 plus hours of screen time if you think about it, but, like, I mean, I've done, like, 24-hour staying up all nights where I'm, like, in front of a computer or some shit, but, I mean, like, fuck, even I take breaks. Even I stretch and get up and eat some food or something, or, you know, get away from it for a minute, you know, at least for a little bit. She's gotten really into World of Warcraft, and I blame myself for it. Oh, she's gotten into a video game? Uh-oh. Oh, no. Wait until she starts seeing the ways that she can start paying for it and make her character, you know, like, just that more extra and shit. And just, like, start doing, like, you know, extra crazy things and doing some, like, hey, if you fork over, like, $5 here or there or some shit, you can get, like, the pay to get coins, and you can use those coins to, like, get some extra cool shit or something like that. Like, watch her start figuring that out and realizing that, like, bank breaker of a little bit of a scheme. Pretty much like every MMO has adopted World of Warcraft's, like, techniques or shit like that, and most certainly, you know, the whole, like, hey, you could pay for a little extra stuff and basically, like, make game on easy mode is definitely no exception. I will say, like, some games are better than others about it. Like, I played some, like, Star Trek Online that aren't that really egregious about it, and a lot of it's more like cosmetic shit, you know, like, so if you want your star vessel to kind of look a certain way outside of maybe, like, certain stats here and there, like, they weren't really too much different from any other starship outside of aesthetics. So, I mean, there's, you know, there's, like, some shit like that, you know, but other than that, it wasn't really, like, cash grabby, like, hardcore, unless you wanted to make your character have, like, some crazy aesthetics or some shit, like, you know, a fancy Star Trek uniform or whatever the fuck. Which you know, when I was playing Star Trek Online, I did that, but I didn't really do it that often. I mainly did it just so I can get, like, the Star Trek, the original series, like the Wrath of Khan uniforms and shit like that. And, you know, some cool, like, weapons that helped out with team and fleet-based events. Because, like, factions or, like, fleets that, you know, players can create on their own, or, like, little clubs, you know, and shit, like, they were essentially just, like, fleets, you know, like, either, like, starship fleets or, you know, like, Klingon fleets or, like, you know, the Romulan fleets and shit like that, you know, with the 3 different factions. And, basically, you know, I was part of one that was pretty much, like, all Caitians, like the Felinoid Anthro race and shit in Star Trek, and, because that was one of my characters I had. And like, there was a lot of really cool, like, team-based events and a lot of really fun roleplay, honestly, that I did playing Star Trek Online shit. It's been years since I played it, honestly. I bet if I went on my account right now and logged into it, I bet I'd still see some of the old bros on there and be like, bro, shit, it's been forever, man. The only thing the Old Republic makes you pay for is exclusive cosmetic gear. See, I like that. Like, I mean, I prefer, you know, online games like that, where, you know, for the most part, if you just want a character that looks cool, like, you can pay some money for, but beyond that, like, putting money into a game isn't actually going to really do that much, you know, to help you or, like, negate you or anything like that. So, I like that. But that's why kind of Star Trek Online was actually okay. Because unless you were, like, you know, a seasoned player that's been there playing the game for years or some shit, like, you're essentially not really going to be, like, that, you know, insanely much better than the other players. Unless you get lucky, like, because every now and then you'll get, like, little, like, gift boxes and shit like that you can open up, and sometimes you can get some pretty decent shit in there. And sometimes those are, like, randomly rewarded, sometimes you get them at the end of events and shit like that, so there was a lot of fun stuff about Star Trek Online. And they'll have seasonal events, too. Like, there was, like, a winter event that I remember playing where you can have where some of the cosmetic, like, clothing that you can have was actually really cool. And, like, you can have a few, like, dances and a few other things that you can get and unlock doing some of the, little mini-games and challenges. It was fun. And, of course, the mastermind behind this little winter wonderland that you can go and do all these challenges is Q. Q's Little Wonderland. I think it was literally just called Q's Winter Wonderland. But it was fun. I'm sure they still do events like that, though. Man, I actually kind of legit want to play Star Trek Online now. I might download on my laptop and at least start playing it a little bit. You can play Star Trek Online on console now for free. Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, I definitely will play it on PC personally, though, because at least for me, it's better. I feel like for MMOs like that, they're a little better on PC. But yeah, honestly, I don't even know like what Star Trek Online is like now at this point. Just like I said, it's been years, but I imagine it's probably still the same old fun that I would normally have had. The reason why I fell out of it was just because I think work and college just got too much in the way. Sorry, posted an r/AK47. Those guys are a little harsher than AK, I think. Oh, you saw the purists? Dude, fuck them. I don't care, really. Like, I just find it fucking hilarious that, like, all the purists came out of the woodworks and I basically triggered it in an entire fucking subreddit, dude. I just triggered a whole subreddit, and I love it, so I'm okay with that. I have a fucking badge of honor, you know, under my books anyway, so you know what? That's an accomplishment in itself, so I'm okay with that. Very shitty clash attempt. You know what? It shot better than it did last time when it was all stock, okay? So they can all fuck off. So, in fact, the only jamming issues was because it was actually trying to overfeed. It was like, hey, here's another bullet for your bullet. It's like, no, there's already bullet in there. You can stop. And that was mainly because of the magazines. That only happened with my 40-round mags, and I think it's just because they're newer springs, so they were wanting to, like, you know, really spring up and shit. So, they were only the 40-rounders that did that. Like, everything else shot fine, no jams, nothing. Shot slick. In fact, it shot better. And honestly, it felt better, too. The recoil was a lot more manageable than last time, so... Very shitty collation attempt. Well, hey, guess what? It was utilitarian enough to function better than it was in its original form, so they can all eat a dick. Like, I mean, I don't care what the purists say. They're all just... I just found it hilarious. I still do, because now I feel vindicated. And I triggered a whole subreddit on r/AK47. Like, ugh. Oh my god, look at this ugly-ass thing, my bleeding fucking eyes. Well, does it shoot accurate? Still looks ugly. It's like, fuck off. Man, I wish you could get a job where 2.5K a month and only work 2 weeks a month. Dude, I mean, that is actually pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. But, I mean, to work basically consistently for like 2 weeks on end and then like have 2 weeks off and shit like that, I just never know how I feel about those like type of work schedules. Like, obviously certain jobs just require that shit, like, you know, being on an oil rig or fucking, you know, being on like a shipping vessel or some shit, or like a cargo vessel or something. Like, obviously it requires a definite long period of time. Well, not definite, but like, you know, certain amount of time, you know, to be away from home and shit. But it's like, for a job like that, it's like, it doesn't feel like it needs that, really. Like, I mean, it feels like, you know, you're more like traditional, like 5 days a week, you know, every week type of, you know, schedules can work out for something like that, being security, because there's plenty of jobs that are that do that. The 1 week on, the 1 week off, rinse and repeat. Oh, so instead of 2 weeks, okay, so it's like 1 week on, 1 week off. So 7 days on, 7 days off. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just never really know how I feel about schedules like that, just because, like, I guess, like, honestly, technically, you can even do that with, like, a 5-day-a-week type of schedule, strangely enough. Well, maybe not, like, a 5-day, but you get the idea, like, where you can technically have, like, your day scheduled, like, 7 on, 7 off, but still be working at some point during those weeks. So it's like you get off on Saturday, then you go back on, you know, next Saturday, but, you know, you're still scheduled for that week just because of that. You still have your 7 days, but basically still working every week. Which I don't know if that's, like, better or not. He gets paid bi-weekly, meaning each week he works, he gets paid that week. That's pretty nice. So at least, you know, when he comes in on the clock, he can grab his paycheck and be like, yeah, got it. That's usually how it is, unless I'm off on Thursdays and shit. Which actually reminds me, when Rip City gets in here, I need to remind him about Thursday, because I know he and everybody else is meeting at my place at 10:30 to go see Iron Maiden in Seattle, but I want to grab my check before we do, which luckily with my work being so close, it's not that big of a issue, and besides to grab a couple snacks and shit like that anyway, it's actually a good idea, so maybe some brewskis, maybe. Have a few of those on the way up there, while the driver has to be sobered over and wait until we get there. All the passengers have fun. Well, I guess that technically would not still be legal. Seen all kinds of bands lately. Well, it's because my friend got 4 tickets to see Iron Maiden, and obviously he's like, hey, who wants to join? And obviously I'm just like, me. Ain't no way I'm just gonna say no to that. And also, I know Amon Amarth is touring too, and they're December 12th, I think, is when they're going to be in Seattle. But are they going to be in Portland? Is the question. Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, Roseland. Yeah, they're showing up at the Roseland. When December 13th. Ooh, in December. Yeah. Alright, how much are these bad boys? Because I'm probably gonna get it soon, but I just want to at least see what I'm working with, y'all. How much are prices? Yes, I know it's a general mission event. I'm highly aware about this. Go on, it's being a dork. Whoa! Holy fuck balls. Holy shit! What the fuck? The general admission is $140? Man, it better be cheaper getting it at the actual fucking theater, because I will dead ass go to the theater first. If that actually is the case, because I'm sure it's gonna be fucking cheaper there. Like, what the fuck? No way, dude. Most of that better be just fucking fees. Because if so, that is like, what? Because like Sabaton tickets are like 60 and the rest of it was fucking fees. So I imagine this is probably like 80 and the rest of it's fucking fees. It's like, oh my god, bruh. Still gonna try to go to that, but holy fuck balls. Gee, fucking, like, my god. Trying to extort my ass, Ticketmaster, you piece of shit. Motley Crue tickets were like $50 back in 2014. Yeah, that's how, like, usually general admission tickets are for, like, most shows around here. About, like, 50, give or take, depending on the band. And also depending how many bands are in the said tour and I like the show. Because there's been, like, some shows I've been to where there's, like, straight up, like, 4 or 5 bands that are playing, and, like, 3 of them are openers. And then there's, like, 2 headliners as well and shit, stuff like that. So, I mean, and usually those are probably more up there. So, like, maybe that's it. Maybe, like, Amon Amarth has, like, 3 or 4 bands with them. Which that better be the fucking case, because if not, then, like, what? It's like, Jesus. That's definitely, like, a little absurd. I'll at least try to call up Roseland, like, tomorrow or something, be like, hey, how much would, you know, a ticket, you know, for that be if I were to just show up there and buy it there? Because dead ass, I'm gonna just do that. Guarantee it's gonna be cheaper. Because, what the fuck? 140, dude. Like, bruh. No buenos. No buenos. I was just wondering what the sloshy noise was, and I just realized, oh yeah, washing machine. I'm sad because the band you want to see isn't touring in the U.S. I mean, there's a lot of different bands I want to see that aren't touring in the U.S., and it kind of sucks. Like, there's like an Indian, like, folk metal / like, new metal band that's kind of hitting it big, at least in Europe especially, because they're doing, like, tours in Germany and shit like that. But they haven't done any, and they just started their U.S. tour, but they're, like, nowhere in the West Coast at all, and it's like, boo. I was hoping maybe at least, like, a Hawthorne Theater show or something, and, like, little dive bar venues, like, around the West Coast or something, but, no. Which, that's kind of sad. That's kind of a sad little thing, honestly. But, hey. Still pretty cool, though. They're at least, you know, starting to branch out a little bit. But hey, the first time Bloodywood comes into Portland, though, I'll definitely be there. I know, I think I saw one band I wanted to check out that's touring with another band that I think is coming to Portland. I think? Beast in Black, yeah. Yeah, Beast in Black, yeah, they're not doing a tour in US yet. God damn it, they're all in Europe. Boo. Well, I guess not boo, because, you know, they spread the music around, but it's like boo in the sense of, like, spread it over here. Get over here. Bring forth your musical arts. What about... I'm just gonna look up some random bands here. Testament. What about them? Oh shit! Testament's playing at the Moda Center? Oh no. Wait, why am I getting Dave Matthews? What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Playing with a few other bands here, but let's see if it wants to load up. Oh, okay, here we go. Camo. There we go. Let's see. Oh, there was Exodus and Death Angel? Oh, dude, fuck yeah. Albany, Portland, Maine. Ah. Going up to Canada, Wisconsin, Canada, California, Vegas, California, Chile. Ah. No PNW shows. Come on. Death Angel 2? Fuck. Ugh. That makes me upset. Well, that's unfortunate. Can I help you? Can I help you, little fluff mutt? You little fluffy, dorky butt boy? Like, what do you want? Yeah, you. Yeah, what do you want? Goofball. Here, let's see. Did they play? Yeah, they didn't at all. Damn. Yeah, I'm seeing their poster for their fall tour, and Organ ain't on there at all. They teased me with the Portland, Maine. It's like, damn it. See other Portland. Damn you, other Portland. The closest they get to is Vancouver, British Columbia, at the Commodore. That's in October. Oh man, that's too soon. Because low-key, I would deadass be like, alright, weekend Vancouver, BC trip. Gonna see Testament live in Vancouver. Fuck it. Go to Canada just to see a metal band. It'd either be that or like, where the fuck is Ventura, California? Like Ventura? Yeah, where the fuck are you? What? Like, I don't know where that would be, but Vancouver, British Columbia would be a lot easier to get to. I could take a train there probably. Or just like a flight. Flight would probably be cheaper. Well, I don't know, it depends. Feels like October of next year, I think would have been easier to plan. Oh my god. Ugh. Runny nose shit is just horrible and I hate it. It's so ridiculous. I did my good deed and blasted out to a few homos who were streaming. You blasted out the... Yeah, I mean, honestly, YouTube's notification system is jank as fuck anyway. So, yeah, I mean, like, doing that type of shit and sharing it around actually does kind of help a little bit just because, I mean, YouTube's shit's, like I said, pretty jank. Especially when it comes to, like, more smaller end type of streams anyway, because those are just usually, like, heavily, like, bumped under the algorithm and shit. Even though it's like I try to hit all the notes of, like, you know, I don't know, being bumped up there. It's like, what, do I need, like, more buzzwords or something in YouTube titles? Because, I don't know, I could do that. But I'd probably get annoying really quick. It's like, you won't believe what was said in this. Says, like, some Russell Brand titles. You won't believe what was said in here. It's just me, just chilling here the entire time. You know, in a weird way, I feel like that would actually kind of strangely work. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing, little goofball? You just stare at me sometimes. I still don't understand what you're trying to, like, say to me when you do that. I mean, like, for real, bro. Like, what the hell? And then you do that, too, where you're like... It's like, what, you sizing me up for a snack? Size me up for food? What are you gonna eat? What are you gonna try to, like, consume me? Get a life insurance policy on me and then, like, eat me up as, you know, as your way to hide the evidence or something? Damn, making artificial band merch is expensive. Yeah, tends to be. That's why I usually go to, like, record stores and stuff if I want to try to find, like, band tees and shit. Because usually they're a little bit more cheaper there. I mean, sometimes find them used online on places like on eBay or some shit is also possible. But you can also probably find, like, you know, like, rip-off ones that are, like, kind of close to, you know, some official band t-shirts, but aren't quite right. Or, like, quite exact. But close enough. I mean, honestly, it's just like the merch for, like, Sabaton shit was just like, damn. I mean, merch in general for, like, bands and stuff have seriously, like, spiked and shit. It's like, damn you, inflation. Because I know it's part of it, because, I mean, a lot of, like, the music industry, not really because of the bands themselves, but because of a lot of the more profit-based aspects of it, like from merchandise to, like, the touring to all this other shit. You know, like, there's just obviously just a lot of money that gets made into that type of shit, and it's part of the reason why this type of shit's so fucking expensive. Because you got, like, websites like, you know, like Ticketmaster or some shit that basically has, like, fees that are sometimes even more expensive than the fucking ticket. Like, and every now and then you'll get like, like just, like I said with the merchandise, you might find some that's pretty, alright, decently priced and shit. Like you might find patches or like $5 or $10 or something. It's like, alright, not bad. And, or like, for CDs, like $20 or something, $15, for older albums. Makes sense, sure. But then you like get the t-shirts and they're like $45 and it's like, it's like, what? It's like, that's what, like, hoodies used to cost. It's like, hoodies are, like, between, like, 70 to 80 now, depending on, like, how much details on it. It's just like, fuck me. It's like, what the fuck? I used to bring, like, $60 for, like, merch. Now I have to bring, like, $100+. Because chances I might get not just one tour shirt, but maybe two, just for the hell of it. Like, because I want to maybe get a tour shirt or another shirt from, one of the other bands or something. And then, basically, after that, it's usually pretty much about it. Like, I always try to at least get, like, a tour shirt. And after that, if I have stuff left over, I might splurge a little on some other merch that looks cool. But usually I have enough for a tour shirt, which at this point is basically 50 fucking bucks. 50 to 60, depending on the band. So at this point, I just fucking at least bring $100 just because, I mean, of how ridiculous, with merch is now at this point. I just use Spotify for music since I have my old student account from when I was in college and I still get a discount price for some reason. That's pretty dope. It's probably because you're still registered as a student to the college or something. Just like an inactive student, so you still technically get the discounts or something. I don't fucking know. That'd be my guess. Because I'm like technically still a student to PCC, but I mean, obviously I just haven't, been back there in years. Let's see what's on the tube, Well, so it's going over here. Doesn't strike me as interesting enough. Not much on tube. Yeah. At least what I saw so far, it's like, there's like this one thing I've seen. MSNBC finally gives Bernie some credit, but I'm just like, It's just like, doesn't really strike me as much of an interest. Just because it's just, I'm just gonna guess Bernie actually being a decent fucking human being. And because it happens to be in the benefit of the corporate status quo, especially at least for the MSNBC's narrative of shit, they're just like, okay, we could give you credit. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever. It's like, should have been given credit for, like, I don't know, his career. But I'm asking a tall order of MSNBC doing that. Oh, little sleepy boy. What about a humus port? It's more worthless than politicians promise. Thoughts and prayers. Because it's pretty much like the equivalent of promises to these, to politicians and shit, especially when they say shit like that. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, we promise we'll be able to fix things. We just need a lot of thoughts and prayers. Like, cause half of the time, like, especially when, like, when shootings happen and stuff, and they say shit like that, like, they usually are always trying to also promise, we'll try to get legislation done when it comes to shit like that, and, of course, nothing really comes to fruition to it. So, Goes with that. Not to really see how it, like, happens besides just rinse and repeat. There's a couple things on here before I might check out in a little bit. Some shit that seems like it kind of might pique curiosity. Well, if I know for sure is Candace Owens' main cunt, so it's always fun to at least rag on her for stupid shit. When a customer says they know the manager, oh, it's a little mem. I love these dudes' skits. They're way too fucking relatable for me.
Could you just give me my green tea for 30% off?
Do you have a coupon?
No, but I know the manager, so it's fine.
Ma'am, there's no deals going on right now.
Yeah, but I'm friends with the manager, so he'd do it for me.
Sorry, can't do that.
The manager and I are neighbors. If he was here right now, he would give me the discount. Just call him here. He's totally done this before.
Supervisor till 3, please. Hey, what's that? Oh, no.
Hey, neighbor.
And how can I help you?
Oh, I was just stopping in. I was wondering if I could get a discount on my green tea, seeing as we're neighbors and all.
No, there's no deal going on. That's what I said.
But Henry...
My name's Peter.
My name is Peter. Oh my god. Weirdly enough, I've legit have had customers like that, where it's like, hey, there's like a discount on this, and they'll like try to get one on it. Usually I'm just like, alright, you know what, like, because I at least know a few loopholes, I'll, you know, try to bring it down, usually. Because half the time, like, they actually are trying to, you know, do it, but it's because it's, like, those fucking digital coupon things on, like, the store apps and shit. Half the time they're jank as fuck and don't even work. Like, when you try to, like, clip it to your, like, you know, store card or whatever, you know, to get the deals and shit. So, like, I usually just try to work with people, but half of the time there are people that are legit trying to, like, show these coupons. So I'm like, I'm looking at the date and it's like from a month ago or like from 2 weeks ago. I'm just like, this is expired. Like, this isn't gonna work. And they'll be like, well, can you just do it anyway? I'm just like, I mean, it's like, if you were just being, like, chill about it, instead of trying to do this weird, slick shit on me, like, normally I try to work for you, but it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna say that, but it's just like, I mean, no, I mean, unfortunately, because there's no deal on it anymore, and because it's no longer a part of the sale, like, I mean, you just didn't purchase it at the time, basically, I guess. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But, you know, like, for people who are usually chill, and especially when it comes to those digital coupons specifically, like, I'll work with people on that. But if they're trying to show me, like, some coupon and it's, like, one of those, like, paper clip ones that you can just clip out yourself and shit, and they show me that, and I can obviously easily see where the expiration date is and shit. Oh, sometimes every now and then, some bitches try to, like, cut into it to, you know, look like, oh, well, I mean, it should be on there, and they clip it basically strategically so they cut some of the expiration date off, and I'm just like, I mean, some of this expiration date's missing when you cut it, so I'm trying to do it, but unfortunately it doesn't work, so I'm assuming this must have been expired. Or it's like, no, it wasn't. I'm just like, well, unfortunately it doesn't work, so that usually means it's expired. Don't know what to tell you. You know, it might have been, you know, expired from, you know, by at least a day or by like a week. I mean, I won't know, but I know this much, it's expired. At least because there's the benefit of the doubt bullshit with that little slick shit, like, I just usually just do it just to shut them up. But, yeah, This dude, Toby Babaloa, though, like, this guy's actually legit really funny with a lot of these, like, grocery store, or, like, grocery store, little clips that he does. You should take the Karens, you should make the Karens pay more, for being see you next Tuesdays, for being cunts. I mean, if they're actually legit being assholes, I'm not gonna give them, like, the hookups and shit. If they're at least being chill, then yeah, I'll give them discounts and shit and try to give them the deals and stuff like that. Because honestly, there's a lot of, like, regulars that do come in similar to that, where they will, you know, try to swing some shit, but there's also regulars, you know, that aren't like that, who, you know, I'm generally, for the most part, just going to be reasonable with, because they are, for the most part. And honestly, especially just considering how things are so fucking ridiculously expensive, like, I just, you know, like, I mean, like, our, like, fried and baked wings, which, you know, for a piece of chicken, is not big. It's like this much. It's just, you know, it's like a little wing. It's tiny. That's like $1.39 now. $1.40 for a fucking wing. It used to be goddamn 99 cents. It's like, frankly, I just drop it to that price. Because it's it's like, nope. It's like, fuck that. That's just ridiculous. And then, like, the breasts are like $2.50 a pop. And, like, every now and then they could be nice and fucking huge. And sometimes they're just like these tiny, tiny little things. It's like they basically, like, you know, slaughter these chickens when they're like chicks still. And it's like, what? It's like, and even then, I'll still drop that shit down. Because it's like, it's fucking ridiculous. Fresh John Oliver on Brazil. Some Bolsonaro. Oh shit, this is like fresh. This is like 2 minutes fresh. Jesus, dude. I'll check this out in a second. Oh, here, it's what's on this? Wait, is that its gorilla shirt? Yes. It's gorilla. Yes, it is. The infamous It's Gorilla shirt from the It's Gorilla stream. It just happened to be the shirt I picked up today. I was like, you know what, fuck, I'm wearing it. Just whip that bitch right on, because, of course, you know, when it's gorilla, you know what I mean? And apparently today is also National Gorilla Day. Apparently. I didn't know that, so. It's gorilla. Because I at least saw on National Geographic, like, they made a community post that was recommended to me. That pretty much saying it's like, it's National Gorilla Day. And I'm just like, oh, cool. I was part of that stream influenced by suggesting Gorilla versus Godzilla. Well, Gorilla beat Godzilla, so. Yeah. Paul was at his best during that stream. Oh my god, dude, that. The stream was just too, like, just. I still, like, laugh my ass off to it. I don't watch it too much, but I at least, you know, go back to it a couple times a year because it's just amazing. Can't watch it too much because you got to keep it fresh, but I do at least watch it, you know, like, at minimum, like, 2 times a year. Because it's just that good. It's just such a fucking classic. Oh, you just look so cute. Oh, had to get up to get it. Here, give me another one. Oh. Oh shit. Hold on. Oh, yeah, that fell right side up. Oh, thank goodness. I did not want to have to pick up that. Ball. That a boy. Oh, well, it dropped. I dropped it. You know where it went. Did you get it? Did you get it, boy? Did you get it? I don't even know if you did or not. I literally can't even tell. I think he did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Well, wonder what Brazil's Trump is up to, being a corporate sleaze bag, I'm assuming. And probably being a fucking, you know, utter Catholic fascist, like Catholo-fascist. Because he's not a, you know, a typical Christian fascist because of his, fucking, yeah, like a Catholic background and shit, so. But yeah, I'd imagine at least, you know, a little combination of both. Slaughtering, you know, Amazon forests like acre by acre and shit, whilst displacing who knows how many fucking indigenous peoples that have probably just been vibing in those places for thousands of fucking years. Till Bolsonaro came and fucked everything. You're so silly. You're just a silly boy. Let's see what this whole Oliver clip is all about. Doesn't seem like a long one. It seems like it's only like, yeah, only 20 minutes. No, it's not too much of a long one.
Moving on. Our main story tonight concerns Brazil, the only country whose flag lets a little circle wear a fancy sash. Isn't that nice? The circle's all dressed up for its big day being on the flag. Brazil is one of the largest democracies in the world, with more than 156 million people eligible to vote. And next Sunday, it's having a massive election. We've mentioned...
Oh, well, that's why I was talking about it.
...elections on this show before, partly because campaign ads there can be spectacular, like this one from a man currently running for state deputy.
I'm Samurai Taxi Driver. You can find me around Pernambuco. 10554.
Dude, this guy's a fucking, like, Chad on these fucking nunchucks. Like, I'm sitting here like, holy shit, I'm actually pretty impressed. And he's just like, it's like, God, it's like, damn, son. Like, I don't really know who you're about or what you're about, but, I mean, just on that alone, I mean, I'm at least gonna probably consider you. I know, dude, he's got my vote. Dude, he's like an old man, too.
Excellent. Look,
excellent.
Nunchucks. I don't know if they are historically a part of samurai taxi driver culture, and I don't know if using your armpits so much is usually a part of it, but I will say this. I'm impressed that he spent so much time...
I remember that selection with an L. I don't want people getting the wrong idea, I think.
Seemingly zero time learning how to edit out the part of the video where he turns his phone off. Many elected positions are on the ballot in Brazil next Sunday, from governors to senators. But the key one is the office of president, where Jair Bolsonaro is running for re-election. Now, you may remember 4 years ago, we actually discussed his first presidential run, I assume. I don't watch this show. But if you missed it, a quick recap. Bolsonaro is a right-wing ex-military populist who, when in Congress, told a female colleague, "I wouldn't rape you, you're not worth it," has said, "I would prefer my son to die in an accident than to have him be gay," and loves making finger guns all the fucking time. Basically, Bolsonaro campaigned as a misogynistic homophobe who gestures like he runs a tech startup. But now, he's campaigning as an incumbent president. And he's been drawing on all the perks of the office, including recently turning the 200th anniversary of Brazilian independence into what was essentially a campaign rally for himself.
His rally in Brazil's capital city, Brasilia, drew tens of thousands of supporters and a military display of
Oh my good lord.
parachutists and tanks. Even the embalmed heart of monarch Dom Pedro I, who declared Brazil's independence from Portugal.
They have just some embalmed heart of some motherfucker. Dude, did I hear that right? Hold on.
Monarch Dom.
What the fuck? Yeah. What? What? Why? Why? Why?
Who declared Brazil's independence from Portugal 200 years ago, was brought over from
Oh my
Europe
god, what the fuck? I didn't need a close-up. Jesus
to
Christ.
be on display.
Wow.
That's why. Oh, he made that on the. Wait, Bolsonaro purposely put that on display for this whole shit? What the fuck? That's totally not creepy and freaky at all. Ah. The fuck? Why is that just a thing that some motherfucker back in like the 1800s decided to just preserve?
If you were wondering what Dom Pedro I died of, it was probably his heart looking like that. But it's true, they put a 2-century-old heart on an Air Force plane and flew it to Brazil. It is actually the first unnaturally preserved human body part to fly on a military jet since all of Tom Cruise. Bolsonaro's main opponent in this election is former President Luis Inácio Lula da Silva. He was incredibly popular while in office, but later got caught up in the international corruption investigation Operation Car Wash, even landing in prison during Brazil's last election, so he couldn't run. But his conviction has since been annulled, and polls now consistently show him leading the race by a wide margin, about 10%. But the concerns in Brazil are that if...
So they just have like some former like corrupted criminal just trying to run against a fascist. Oh my god. Dude, what the fuck is going on in Brazil? Wow, I thought our politics were broken.
Bolsonaro...
Like, this is legit, like, fucking really broken. Like, what?
won't give up his office without a fight, and could even follow Trump's example in encouraging supporters to back a tropical version of the Capitol riot, which isn't great, although for the record, you really don't have to use the word tropical to describe an insurrection just because you're talking about Latin America. Especially because tropical riot sounds like a Mountain Dew flavour that was recalled for blinding several children. And Bolsonaro's version of January 6th could be a lot more destructive than Trump's, given that he has done a great deal to cultivate support within his military, all of which makes it more than a little concerning when he stands in front of his supporters and says things like this.
There are only three alternatives for me: to be arrested, to be killed, or to be victorious.
Well, can we at least make sure that the first two options are on the table and that last one isn't? Preferably the second one.
And I tell those scumbags, I will never go to jail.
Okay, so the second option. Okay, good. At least we're on the same page.
Okay, that is never a good omen, is it? No one says that before doing something pleasant. No one says...
Yeah, no shit, which is why I'm sure okay with at least where he's narrowing down his options. I'm sure that we disagree about where the last option goes, but hey, at least it helps us narrow it down.
Prison or death before they say...
That's dictator talk. That's just straight up fucking fascist talk. Not, you know, I mean, it is dictator talk, but I mean, that's just like straight up fascistic shit there. And, yeah, and frankly, as far as I'm concerned, it also just means, alright, well, considering, like, maybe his more radical opposition, I mean, do you really think they're just gonna sit that and be like, oh god, I'm scared? Like, especially, let's say that this Lucia dude, or Luis, or Sylvia, or whatever his name was, but, like, let's say he wins, and he tries to do this type of shit. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, there would be more of a significant backlash to this shit. I'll opt for option 4, eating him alive. I mean, that works too. Gotta savor every bite, especially when it's fresh.
Skip week. Not even the German guy, and honestly, I was half expecting that from him. The first round of the election is next Sunday. And if
Civil war in Brazil. I mean, there's an off chance there might be one in Iran, or at least a revolution in Iran, as there is kind of already one ramping up. At least if a lot of the mass protesting going on as it is. I mean, there's a chance there could be a new revolution there. And, I mean, with Brazil, I mean, possibly. There legit is a chance that could possibly happen.
It will go to a second round on October 30th, although worryingly, Bolsonaro has already said that if he doesn't win outright next Sunday, receiving at least 60% of the vote, something, quote, abnormal took place. So if one of the world's biggest democracies seems like it might be barreling towards a cliff, tonight, let's talk about Jair Bolsonaro, the man with his foot planted firmly on the gas. And let's start with the fact that, unfortunately...
Speaking of food, what do you think about dream food? Oh, I didn't see it quite yet, because I've just been checking this one. Did have a most amazing dream. In it, I know someone I know made a giant pizza or sugar cookie that was soft like pizza. It was slathered with peanut butter, chocolate, possibly Nutella, and strawberry jam, and it had a cookie covered in PB&J or peanut butter. It's fucking delicious. I want that dream to come true. Come make that cookie pizza with me, dude. I'd be down to make that. Sounds amazing.
Governed pretty much exactly how he said he was going to. He's followed through on a big campaign promise to make guns more freely available in Brazil, loosening gun laws to the point that since he took office...
Which a lot of his loyalist supporters will definitely probably take a lot of liberty on. And his opposition too, by the way. See, that's a double-edged sword a lot of these far-right dumb fucks don't necessarily realize about loosening gun laws. That works both ways. Like, because they have this misassumption that, like, every liberal or every lefty is just, like, some anti-gun gun grabber or some shit, and it's like, no. Definitely not. Like, I mean, I know at least a few people who are, like, libs, even, who are at least okay with guns and shit, you know, or, you know, may have some themselves, even, you know, and I definitely know, you know, people on the left that are maybe not outright, you know, as pro-gun, you know, as, like, maybe some of these far-right type people are, but, yeah, they're pro-gun, but also pro-regulation on them, too, but maybe not as much as someone who might be, like, liberal in a sense, just because, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Like, there's, you know, a lot of lefty types that are definitely very, very okay with owning guns and shit, in fact, do. So... I mean, that's what I mean by that double-edged sword shit. So it's like they always have this weird assumption that, like, their opposition, like, is all a bunch of gun grabbers and shit, but no. I wonder if I could buy a gun in Oregon. You probably could. But you have to be a resident here.
Has doubled to nearly 2 million, despite polls showing the majority of Brazilians are against making the sale and possession of weapons easier. So he is giving people something they didn't ask for and don't want, which I believe is also the job description for the head of original programming at Netflix. But much more than that, Bolsonaro has been an absolute disaster for the Amazon, a rainforest that is critical for Brazil and, you know, the planet Earth. He has loosened regulations to expand logging and mining there, and massively scaled back protections and enforcement. And almost immediately after he took office, conditions deteriorated.
Under Bolsonaro, deforestation is at its highest point in a decade, with an area 10 times the size of New York City destroyed through October this year. And in August, there was an average of 1,000 fires.
I wonder if there'd be, like, radical environmentalists who would, you know, take, I don't know, maybe some more extreme measures to potentially, like, postpone some of this regression. I'd probably be insulting Earth, you know, to call this progress.
1,000 fires a day. That is so many fires.
10 times, yeah.
What happens in the Amazon 1,000 times a day? My first guess would be capybaras fucking. Self-explanatory. My second would be frog birthday parties. Statistically, there's got to be at least 5,000 of them with a birthday every day, and we have to assume that some combine parties for convenience and others just don't want to have a big thing this year. But exactly 0 of my guesses would be fires. These fires are often part of illegal deforestation to clear areas for industrial uses. Deforestation, incidentally, which can encroach on land where indigenous people live. And they have been...
And also taking out a lot of the absorbers of CO2 and carbon and shit, and also producers of O2, oxygen, you know, when it comes to doing shit like that, by the way. In fact, it happened a while ago, but now the Amazon produces more CO2 than O2 because it's just shit.
And miners on their own, which can be both very dangerous and deeply dispiriting.
I'm hoping that these, like, Amazon, like, tribes people and shit, you know, start going to the, like, the level of the Sentinelese of this shit, because, I mean, at this rate, I mean, how do they not see, like, the disaster of, like, Armageddon, like, you know, reaching them at this point?
When we confront them, they say, "Don't you watch the news?" Bolsonaro said that...
Can we get some dehumanization? Dehumanization? Yeah, it's
what they
been a little while overdue.
Right, and it has got to be tough to fight someone taking your stuff when they feel they've got permission from the most powerful person in the country. If I stole your wallets and then played a clip of Biden saying, "Hey John, I don't give a shit if TV hosts rob their audience members. Now if you'll excuse me, I've got to go and say 10 wrong or weird things in a row on 60 Minutes. There really wouldn't be much to do about it. The point is, the destruction of the Amazon under Bolsonaro has been devastating. In fact, while worldwide greenhouse gas emissions plummeted by almost 7% in 2020 due to the pandemic, Brazil's emissions actually grew by nearly 10%. And Bolsonaro has added insult to injury, claiming those fires in the Amazon were false flags, accusing outsiders of being...
Of course. I mean, just also how, like, you know, a lot of some of the wildfires back in 2020 in Oregon were kind of considered false flags, that, like, Antifa was trying to, like, start them and shit. And, like, how they were actually the perpetrators of a lot of these wildfires, and these, like, natural wildfires aren't actually happening. Like, I've heard some of that lingo before myself, personally.
plot to seize Brazil's jungles,
and because of that, there tend to be a lot of vigilantes that get riled up by shit like that and tend to do their own acts of, like, civil, you know, action or whatever the fuck they think they're doing. Outside of terrorizing people.
Arson in the Amazon, which is just absurd. Where would Leo find the time to do that? Between his busy film schedule, his daily yacht fuck, and having a big laugh.
yeah, because they could take anything except responsibility.
Every tweet about his May to December love life. Oh man, the internet got me again. Leo shouts to the richest people on the planet over a bottle of wine that costs more than your rent. But perhaps the defining catastrophe of Bolsonaro's presidency has been his handling of the COVID pandemic. Brazil has suffered massively. Over 34 million cases and over 685,000 deaths. And right from the start, he refused
and Bolsonaro's gotten COVID like 4 times.
Dismissing COVID as a little flu, and then once the death toll started rising, shrugging off responsibility in the most dickish possible way.
Everything is about the pandemic nowadays. We have got to stop with this. I'm sorry for the dead. I'm sorry. But we're all going to die one day. Everybody here is going to die. We have to stop being a country of sissies.
Oh my god. Jesus. He's like honestly even like worse than like some of these like fascists here at home. Like, oh my god. It's like, yeah, you know, it's like, you know, we're all going to die one day. It's like, yeah, can you hurry up with that? Yeah, can you, Bolsonaro specifically, hurry up with that, like, everyone's gonna die thing and you reach to that conclusion, like, quickly, please? For everybody's sake.
Just monumentally shitty. I've got to say, America's COVID response left a lot to be desired. But at least the CDC slogan is never, what are you complaining about? Death comes for all of us, man up and die in a hole. But Bolsonaro didn't just abdicate responsibility for COVID.
No shit.
He actively made it worse, attacking governors and anyone else who promoted shutdowns or social distancing. In fact, to the extent that lockdown orders were issued at all in Brazilian cities, they sometimes came from very surprising places.
The situation has become so serious that the drug gangs that rule this slum and other slums in Rio de Janeiro have decreed a lockdown, and they have forbidden all clandestine parties from happening.
It's true.
So fucking cartels basically like decided to be like, all right, we're going to do lockdowns ourselves because the government's failed, so we're going to do their job. the fucking cartels in Brazil basically decided to take better sanitary precautions than their fucking government? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, fucking drug peddlers and, like, fucking cartel lords and shit were just like, hey, to me, people are dying from this shit. We're losing our fucking profit. Like, hey, we should take this COVID responsibly. I think our government's fucked. Cartels have a responsibility to government. Dude, for what the fuck? Like, what? It's... You fucking kidding me, dude?
Banks ended up being more responsible when it came to COVID than the Brazilian government. Although, let's not give them too much credit for banning parties. You know what is pretty appealing when you're stuck inside with nothing to do and nowhere to go? Drugs. And what is so frustrating here is that Brazil was better...
I never thought I'd be sport a cartel, but here we are. Fucking real.
...than many other countries to handle COVID. It has a long history of successful inoculation drives, starring their beloved vaccine mascot, Zega China, who, at best, looks like a super sperm, and at worst, a member all dressed up for jazzercise. And yet, Bolsonaro not only sowed doubts about the vaccines, his administration delayed ordering doses for months. In fact, last year, Pfizer apparently reached out to the Brazilian government 81 times trying to set up a deal to provide doses of vaccines, but most of the time...
Dude, even when Big Pharma is, like, in the right, like, what? Oh my god. When Big Pharma is like, hey, we're, like, endlessly trying to, like, unironically help, like, we like, just fuck the profit, just, like, reach out to us for fuck's sake. Like, when they're at that point, like, dude, what the fuck? Yeah, you know that thing he was saying? It's like, there's only 3 options for someone like me: jail, death, or winning. And I'm only gonna have, you know, it 2 ways. It ain't jail. It's like, yeah, that second option sounds very, very based right about now. Like, what the fuck?
And some of those emails from Pfizer were just sad. One read, "Hope all is well with you. I just wanted to confirm that you received yesterday a communication sent on behalf of the president of Pfizer with the updated proposal of a possible supply of COVID-19 vaccines. Will you let me know?" And come on, Pfizer. If you're getting ghosted like that, you've just got to be more blunt. Something like, "Attention, dickheads, your country has COVID. We have a vaccine. Let's do this thing." Or even, "Earth to President bitch. Stop tweeting Leonardo DiCaprio and answer your fucking phone." And the thing is, it is not that Brazilians didn't want vaccines, proven by the fact that once they finally became available, virtually 100% of the adult populations in Rio and Sao Paulo got fully vaccinated, a number that no American city has managed to hit. And the
God damn it.
COVID debacle would be comfortably enough for people to be done with Bolsonaro, but there is so much more, including the fact that despite running on an anti-corruption platform 4 years ago, Bolsonaro and his inner circle have since become...
Oh, curious. Where have we heard that before? Oh yeah, we're totally anti-corrupt, but let's basically just, like, flood everything with our own personal corruption.
growing number of criminal and legislative investigations, and while he has denied wrongdoing, one sign of just how
and he's done that too.
Allegations is that when a journalist asked him about one of them, he replied, "I feel like punching you in your mouth." Okay.
Well, at least Trump wasn't like that with fucking, like, journalists. He was just like, leave, you're fake news. Like, he would just do that. He's not like, I'm gonna punch you in your fucking mouth. I mean, to be fair, that would be kind of funny but if he actually did that. But, I mean, like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, how does this motherfucker get away with, like, saying so much of the shit that he does? Well, okay, yeah, he has a lot of his loyalty, at least especially in government, is for the fucking military, so... That tends to, like, yeah, like, even law enforcement or other investigative agencies would be like, oh, yeah, military, yeah, no thanks. I ain't gonna fuck with that. I mean, I'd just be curious which branch of the military, or, like, what branch is of the military in Brazil are least loyal. Because if there's at least, like, any, fractionalization in the branches, like, let's say, like, the Army is loyal to Bolsonaro, but, like, the Army and the Navy aren't, or some shit like that, that's not gonna really be good. Or, like, let's say, shit really ramps up in Brazil, considering this fuck. So, it's just like, I mean, I don't know. So, like, depending on how things would play out with this type of election, it would behoove a lot of the Brazilian people to probably quash as fuck, like, frankly. Because obviously they want the vaccines, they don't like a lot of what he's doing and shit. I mean, because of pretty much doing the opposite of what people want. And it's essentially a full-on fascistic dictator just oppressing people. And just, like, gutting and destroying fucking Brazil from the inside out. So, I mean, at this point, like, it just seems like there's just a very strong contingent of the Brazilian populace that's just like, fuck you, we're done with you. And if you want to put up a fight, then we're going to fight you. Because, I mean, it just kind of seems like that a little bit. I mean, elections are next Sunday, it seems, I think. Yeah, so I guess we'll find out then. Because he, like, Bolsonaro said himself, if the first round even doesn't, you know, show clear victory for him, he's going to say there's going to be an abnormal, you know, approach or whatever the fuck he said. You know, something abnormal is going to happen after that. It's like, I wonder what that implies. Probably like a military coup d'etat of the fucking election, you know, process and shit, and doing a literal military coup. Like, that's probably his idea. Which, if that's the case, then that's where shit will very likely get interesting. Man, honestly, like, I probably should keep my ear on Brazil for the next couple weeks, because it sounds like their shit's about to get pretty interesting here. Man, there's a lot of shit going on around the world that's kind of interesting. Got, like, fucking Iran with their mass protests and shit. Got fucking Brazil that might have some shit going on there, yeah, potentially. You know, like, there's some places, you know, that are kind of popping a little bit. Like, I don't know if Sri Lanka's still got their shit that they're going with, but I imagine their shit's still going on.
In the polls, which is not to say that Bolsonaro does not have...
I mean, also, like, there's been, like, a mass, like, protest still going on in Russia, too. And it got flared up way the fuck up because of, you know, Putin's mass mobilization and shit. And just more people fleeing en masse because of it. So it's like every time little poo-poo, you know, says something, you know, he's basically just causing a flaring up of protests that he's trying to quell and suppress for the most part and shit. And then basically causes more of a mass wave of people fleeing. It's like, hey, if you want those protests to, like, not be as big of a problem for you there, buddy, and people fleeing en masse, I don't know, shut the fuck up. Like, cause evidently every time you know, spew something out of his fucking mouth, like, people protest more so and get flared up with that shit, outside of being tiny little rallies and, like, some little market or some shit. And, you know, and end up becoming bigger fucking marches and shit. And then fucking people leaving en masse. Instead of maybe like a couple dozen a day, now it's just thousands upon thousands. Where it gets backed up. Sukov, shut up.
What are you barking at?
And they can be intense.
Thousands of supporters lined up in front of this gym next to Rio de Janeiro's iconic Maracanã football stadium. Inside, crowds wearing the colors of the Brazilian flag cheer for President Jair Bolsonaro, calling him the Messiah and the myth.
Oh my god, this guy, Jesus Christ, this dude looks like a winner. And wow, I'm not surprised that they also call this guy the fucking Messiah, because I mean the diehard QAnon types, you know, Trump said, literally think he's the fucking Messiah too. It's like these, you know, far right types usually always have, like, you know, such a literal, like, conspiracy level, like, diehard loyalists and shit that they think they're quite literally a Messiah.
Okay, I love that man. I love his outfit, I love his face paint, I love the way he kind of looks like the Hulk losing his shit at a Green Bay Packers game. But what
the Hulk losing his shit.
The security guard over his shoulder, scanning the crowd for threats while looking everywhere but at the bright green man right in front of him, screaming so hard he might explode. And Bolsonaro seems to be deliberately laying the groundwork with his supporters for an eventual Trump-style refusal to accept the election results, even pointing to our last election as a cautionary tale for Brazilians.
What happened?
Jair Bolsonaro, basically this, like, far-right fascist president who basically is like a military-style populist type and shit. Elections are coming up next Sunday for Brazil and shit, and he's pretty much, like, This is John Oliver, and he's kind of talking about, like, some of what Bolsonaro was about and shit, and like what he said leading up to these elections and shit, which honestly are quite fucking disturbing to say the least, especially considering some of his past behavior too, and is basically just kind of like going into like some of the proclivities towards the election and what may or happen from that, considering that his opponent has actually got a major lead up on him in the elections, and he's been very adamant about saying, like, oh, something will happen, if it doesn't show clear victory for me, and essentially saying that, like, implying a threat that, like, there's going to potentially be, like, a military coup, because he has, like, also a lot of loyal backing from the military, too. It made, like, Brazilian's Independence Day essentially just based around him, essentially, because it was coming up towards the elections and shit, and had like a whole parade where he was like front and center with like the military doing the pomp and circumstance behind him in his little presidential limousine and shit, just like a massive major pomp and circumstance.
Okay.
Brazilians.
What happened in the American elections? Basically, the problem, the cause of this crisis, was the lack of trust in the vote. There were people who voted 3-4 times. Dead people voted. It was a mess.
Okay, great. So that is the January 6th op-ed absolutely no one needed, from the man no one wanted to hear it from, and from the camera angle that absolutely no one deserves. He's saying his stupid opinions out loud. You really don't have to go hunting for them right up his nostrils. Bolsonaro has been going out of his way to undermine faith.
He looked like a fermented grapefruit.
Brazil's election system, suggesting judges and officials are trying to sabotage his re-election, and fear-mongering about the country's electronic voting machines. Machines, incidentally, which are even the subject of ASMR election PSAs like this one.
Urna eletrônica ASMR. Você ainda tem dúvidas sobre as eleições? Estamos aqui para descomplicar.
Is this real? Oh my god, this is actually making me uncomfortable. Is this actually fucking real?
Horny.
Is there, like, is that honestly fucking real? Like, that really made me uncomfortable.
Every day there are
I bet TJ would go to war with Brazil just over them calling soccer football. But that's technically the more proper name for the sport. So, sorry TJ. Like, you're like, I'd be on the side of Brazil with that one. Like, we're pretty much like literally the only country in the world that calls football soccer.
Awakenings. I'm guessing that today, at least one of them.
Because we have our football, which barely uses the feet unless you're like kicking a field goal or something. It's like, I mean, it's like unless you're doing something like that, there's not really much feet involved outside of the running. But he doesn't think that. Well, he's gonna have to just suck it up, Buttercup.
Is apparently their thing. Welcome to the rest of your life. But Brazil's voting machines aren't just quietly erotic. They're also widely seen as secure. They are not connected to the internet, which makes them all but impossible to hack, and it's worth knowing.
Wasn't it called field ball? Honestly, that would make more sense. Or, like, I mean, tackle ball will also sound like it'd be accurate as well. I mean, like a field ball, tackle ball. Like, I mean, like, there's some names that it could be called that would be accurate. I mean, I think field ball, works because it's on a big-ass field. And, yeah, so, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like, there can be better names for it, because football, like, when I think of football, I literally think of soccer. Like, well, like, football. But, like, American football, it's just like, or FUBA. Like, it's like, why? Like, there's no feet involved outside of, just running from one end of the field to the other and shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like, tackle ball or, like, field ball would sound, at least be more accurate, but I guess it doesn't sound cool or some shit. It's just like, oh my god.
1996, authorities have never found...
And also, like, that's actually a really awesome thing I'm noticing here with their election shit. Like, their electronic election devices and shit, they're not connected to the internet, which actually is, I think, a really, really good idea. Like, have it on its own servers that are detached from the internet. I mean, that's actually a good idea, and an excellent idea, I think, because then it's only secured to that local booth, so then you can collect all that information, from there, and be able to have it all collected, onto like one file, essentially, and be like, all right, here's like the results from like this one, like voting precinct, and then gather all that information and be able to tally it, from there. So it's honestly just a far more secure and, I think, frankly, probably even a more efficient way of electronic, at least the electronic aspect of the voting process. So that's like base Brazil. I mean, not the Bolsonaro's shit, but at least, when it comes to just their little bit of the process, at least, with some of the technical parts of it, like, that's actually pretty based. Because basically that means you have to physically be there to hack them, which I think it's going to be odd if you have a bunch of your own personal electronic equipment just dangling off of you or some shit, or you're coming in there with like a fucking laptop case or something, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's going to be a little odd. I think you would have to leave that at the door. I think they would have a bad check-in.
Introduction in 1996, authorities have never found any evidence of widespread fraud. Yet
strange, as it usually tends to be the case with a lot of these.
Repeatedly attacked the machines as crooked, claiming that his margin of victory in 2018 actually should have been even larger. He even subjected a room full of diplomats to a 45-minute PowerPoint presentation accusing Brazil's elections of being rigged. And that is incredibly dangerous, partly because people will agree to anything if you threaten them with a 45-minute PowerPoint presentation.
Oh my God.
In our office, we have an email security seminar once a year. And this year, I broke my laptop with a hammer just so I could claim that it did not apply to me. It was the right call, and I will do it again. And look, I don't want to waste too much time knocking down every one of Bolsonaro's complaints, because it's pretty clear that in raising these objections in the run-up to the election, his intention isn't to maximise the security of the vote, but to maximise the amount of distrust that people have in it. And his supporters have been very much listening to his bullshit.
If the elections are fair, he wins in the first round. Only in the first round.
He will only lose the election if there is fraud, and the people will take to the streets to stop that from happening.
You see, that's interesting, isn't it? Because if you look at that...
Well, yeah, that's a little interesting how he's pretty much already sown the shit, right into his supporters right before the elections. Just like, Sukov, would you fuck off? These aren't for you. Here, fine, I'll give you something for yourself. But, like, I mean, Trump did this exact same shit leading up to the fucking 2020 election, where it's just like, oh yeah, they could possibly rig it, and, we gotta be ready, and all this other shit. They'll, like, stand back and stand by bullshit. They literally sell on a fucking public debate stage. I'll make the Brazilian president walk the plank. Oh no, I got something better for him. Tie some rope on his hands. Long rope. And then tie some long rope to his feet. Have one end of that rope go on one end of the ship. And then have him just drag to the bottom. And then we'll grab the one piece of the rope that we dumped in there first from the other side, pull it up, have him literally just like dangle like head up, or on the other side too, and just have him basically get like fucking shredded up by like barnacles and like basically just get fucked with ocean seawater and shit, and do that for like a good 5 minutes or something. If he survives, then we'll make him walk the plank.
He loves Brazil, but if you listen to him, you'd learn he's willing to burn his country to the ground based on a flimsily laid conspiracy theory. But I guess that duality is just part of the boundless mystery and contradiction that makes human beings the absolute fucking worst. And given Bolsonaro's rhetoric, it is no wonder that there have already been outbreaks of violence. One Lula supporter was killed when a Bolsonaro supporter invaded his Lula-themed birthday party and shot him while shouting that all PT partisans, that is, supporters of Lula's political party, will die. So things are very tense right now.
Wow, so shit's already ramping up. Like, there's, just like fucking, people are so diehard loyal and shit. And honestly, this is like what, a lot of the far right in this country want too, by the way, just saying. Like, with a lot of the hardcore, like, MAGA QAnon types and shit. The ones that are definitely, looking up to the poster boy of DeSantis and shit, as they kind of wean themselves off of Trump. And, continue to support him, too. It's like, I mean, they're gonna they've already attempted to, to do the same similar shit. And they're more than willing to try again. Like, if anything, they'd probably be taking notes.
That is before you consider just how close Bolsonaro is to the armed forces there. Not only is he ex-military, and not only has he expressed admiration for the military dictatorship that ran the country until 1985, his government is also heavily stocked with military personnel, and some leaders of Brazil's armed forces have raised similar doubts to Bolsonaro's about the integrity of the elections, all of which...
So he definitely has strong loyalty to the military. So he basically, wants to make sure there's at least enough of a popular support, even if they are the minority within the ranks, because at that point, he can at least use the military to fucking clean up the rest.
Some in Brazil to understandably worry about what lies ahead.
This flirting of President Bolsonaro with the coup is not a recent thing. It's an old thing. The people that support him are willing to do anything. Just like the supporters of President Donald Trump when the Capitol was invaded. I have no doubt, I have even written about it, that here in Brazil we will have a tragic, dramatic repetition of what happened there.
Yeah, except crucially, it could be much worse there. Because luckily for us, Trump's allies were generally limited to a shirtless man in a fur hat, a perpetually horse pillow baron, and
Joe Biden and fucking crackhead Mandel.
Some of his dumber children. But Bolsonaro has significant military support, and there is some question of what they might do in the event of an uprising, which raises the stakes significantly. Generally, when someone threatens democracy, it's a lot easier to say, you and what army, when you're absolutely certain that that person doesn't have an actual army behind them. The point is, for Brazil, there is a lot on the line here. And right now, it seems the most likely scenario is that no one will win outright next Sunday, meaning that both Bolsonaro and Lula head to a runoff on October 30th. But the weeks ahead could be extremely nerve-wracking. And the fact is, if Bolsonaro eventually loses and chooses to fight the results, it is going to test the strength of Brazil's relatively young democracy. So, to the people there who are worried right now, let me address you in the two languages that I know you'll understand. Portuguese, and of course, the language of the chuck. So
the nunchuck. What the fuck?
Hola, Brazil. Apresentador samurai. Sinto muito pelo que vocês estão passando nesse momento. Nossa estará com vocês nas próximas semanas. Boa sorte. That is our show. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, it wasn't that. He was just literally flinging him around. But hey, you know what? It worked. He did it. He tried. But I mean, I just say that, like, hey, when they, come a fight and fight back, basically, because evidently they did make it easier to access guns there, and I don't know how, like, what their shit is like over there, but I imagine, I don't know. If, like, a full-on, like, fucking military coup is gonna happen, like, I mean, at that point, like, what the fuck do you kind of have to lose? You know what I mean? Racism level 3. I don't know. I'm not gonna comment about whether that would maybe... like 3 out of 10, at least like a little bit, because at least it was in jest. I mean, because it was related to that fucking like that political ad of that one dude from earlier. So I mean, I'd say in jest. So not like intentionally or like in a mean-spirited way, but in jest and a way to at least trying to make it somewhat lighthearted, considering the very dire situation all in all. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to make it okay, I guess. Should I not? But here, let's... So something from you is where I want to kind of check out. What's this shit? Candace Owens, yep, being a cunt. Says obese people like Lizzo used to only be seen at the... what? What? Excuse me, bitch. Excuse me, more, bitch. I guarantee you in like a one-on-one like fight, Lizzo can like smack the fuck out of Candace Owens and like murk her ass, okay? So yeah. You'd probably also see her do like some intense boxing or some shit too, fucking murking your ass.
I haven't watched this video yet, but just based on what the quote says here, once upon a time, by the way, the only place that you could see people that were that large were at a circus. So, I mean, Candace Owens is criticizing Lizzo. She is a pop singer. It's not necessarily substantive, right? There's no political point that I can really dissect here. But what this demonstrates...
Because there is none.
It's beyond a shadow of a doubt, I think. It's just how unnecessarily cruel conservatives are. It's so gross that you speak about other human beings this way. Oh, well, because Lizzo is overweight, I mean, the only time you'd see people like that is at a circus. Why do this? Look, I'm not a fan of Lizzo's music in particular.
Like, honestly, it's like, Candace is straight up one to fucking talk when it comes to shit. Cause, like, hey, you know there were a thing called human fucking zoos, right? And, yeah, and frankly, like, especially considering the history of that type of shit, like, there was once upon a time that, like, people, you know, people like you and, yeah, I mean, Lizzo too, like, would be in those type of situations if they were gaffled up. So, like, excuse me, bitch? You know, that's, like, especially one thing that's kind of, like, what? Because it just shows how, like, much of a lowly, scummy, fucking grifty piece of slimy shit that Candace Owens really is, because she doesn't give a fuck. Like, I mean, she just, you know, wants to just be the token, you know, if I could be like, oh, see, I'm not, like, you know, you know, as bad, you know, and shit, because, look, I mean, you can't say that I'm racist, because, you know, I'm black. It's like, well, yeah, guess what? I can, so fuck you. You're a racist piece of shit. A slimy, racist, grifty, fucking little piece of shit, and a fucking cunt that thinks that, oh, you know, just because someone has to be overweight, it's like, you know, where they belonged back in the day was a fudge circus. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. And frankly, it's just like, there was actually quite a lot of fucking smart, intelligent people that were pretty much only confined to fucking circus living and shit because of, you know, whatever type of fucking abnormalities they might have had. Like, there was, this guy who was known as, like, the Wolfman from, like, the late 1800s to, like, the early 1900s and shit, because he had, like, hair literally all over his fucking body and shit. And, straight up, like, I mean, knew, like, multiple languages, like, you know, studying a lot of different, philosophy and stuff like that, and, like, linguistics and shit. But pretty much most of his life was just succumb to, like, circus living and shit because, well, like, due to his genetic disposition of looking, well, essentially kind of like a wolf, hence his nickname, you know, pretty much was isolated from any type of fucking normal life, you know, because of that shit. You know, but nonetheless, a very intelligent type of person. So, just because someone happened to be in a circus doesn't mean they were, like, some sort of, like, lazy, good-for-nothing, like, schlub that has, like, no merit. It's like, bitch, like, there was a lot of people in that type of life and shit that had a lot more merit than what society gave them credit for. So it's like, eat a fucking dick. because they definitely had like a lot more, you know, credit, you know, and more merit in society than your cunt ass bitch.
I think she's talented, but it's just not necessarily like my genre of choice. I'm not a big fan of pop music. But why would you say this about her? I mean, think about the people.
Because she's a slimy, grifty little cunt, and she wants to seen as like the token girl for the fucking far right and shit, and their fucking horrible, fucking hated opinions. Like, that's pretty much it.
Who may be overweight. Think about them hearing you say this. Oh, so you think that I should be at a circus? I mean, they have no regard for...
I guarantee you she also probably thinks, like, gay people, trans people, and, like, other queer people, like, also belong in a fucking circus. I mean, it's, like, I guarantee you she probably believes that shit, too.
They're just so cruel, and that's reflected in their political ideology, where they just want to inflict pain on people. They want to subjugate women and trans people to second-class citizenship status. They want to cut people off of welfare benefits. It's nothing but making people suffer. Oh, what's that? Joe Biden canceled a measly $10,000 of student debt. We should stop him from doing that. Like, their whole ethos is inflicting pain and suffering while pretending as if they have the moral high ground because they believe in God. No, I'm sorry. This right here shows that just because you're religious doesn't mean that you are more morally pure than all of us. In fact, I'd argue that theocrats and evangelicals are substantially more morally bankrupt than the average person, right?
Yeah, they tend to be. Because if anything, like, they basically, a lot of their morality and a lot of their ethos essentially just like, oh, if my make-believe, you know, God in my head essentially, you know, says it's justified, you know, into my mind, then by proxy, I justified it. So, you know, that means, like, oh, like, bashing queer people because God hates the gays and whatever the fuck, that's justified and morally good in their fucking eyes. So, of course they're gonna be fucking morally bankrupt. They got no morals. Their morals is, like, you know, what my scat daddy thinks is justifiable, which is basically, you know, what excuse can I do to justify my own fucking hatred and pain in my own life on other people.
Let's get to this here.
I grew up without seeing clinical obese people on TV because it's not normal, right? I cannot stress this enough. I like...
you live in America, right?
What? Okay.
You live in America, right, bitch? Like, you're not in, like, some fucking bunker underground. Like, you live in the US of A. Not normal. Have you been in a... Well, of course you haven't been in a Walmart. Who am I kidding? But you haven't at least been out in public, at least a little bit, anywhere in this country. Like, even for a fucking, like, 30-second little, like... You know, let me just stare outside for a little bit and then walk back into my little echo chamber of bliss. Like, really? I mean, when it comes to, like... I mean, it's like, honestly, it's whether it's like normal or not really isn't even like relevant. Like, that even there shouldn't be any relevance to that, frankly. It's, you know, because there's a lot of like environmental and genetical impacts as to why someone may or may not be obese. Like, I mean, fuck, like, I got a high-ass metabolism and shit. Like, I mean, there's a lot of days where I eat a fuckload and shit, and I barely gain a pound. So it's just like, what the fuck? Like, you know, but there's a lot of people that will eat, like, a little bit throughout the day, but will still gain, like, like 5 pounds just for eating, like, a burrito, like, in the day, and then they had, like, you know, chips and salsa a little bit later that evening, and then they had, like, a beer or two, and that was it. Like, you know, all in all, not super high caloric, you know, potentially, and maybe they had, like, a little, maybe they walked their dog or something and shit. You know, and, like, so they burned some of that off, and they still somehow gained, like, 10 pounds. You know, it's just like, fuck, I wish I could do that, you know, but because of either genetics or other environmental factors, whatever else, you know, like, some, like, people's BMI and, like, people's, like, bodies are different. Like, you know, everyone's uniquely different in that way. Like, I mean, you know, like, my mom's side of family is, like, more propensity to being overweight and shit, while my dad's side of family isn't. And I inherit more of my dad's side of the genes, at least more predominant genes and shit. So, I don't have that. You know, I got his metabolism, not my mom's, basically, you know, with that one. And it's like, in a way, I kind of wish I was more balanced. Where it's, you know, where it's like I was in between them. Because, Jesus, fuck, the high metabolism life, it kind of does suck a little bit. I wish I chunked up. I wish I had, like, a little bit of a chunk. So, God, what are you doing? You also need a little bit of a chunk. You eat a shitload too, dude. Like this dog. Like, I mean, some dogs are, you know, the same way. Like, I mean, some dog breeds, you know, like, if you feed them, like, even a little bit more than what they probably should throughout the day, they'll just, like, blown up. But dogs like Zukov, like, you feed him even more than what he's supposed to, he's still gonna look like a skinny bastard. Because you still look like a skinny boy, but you eat so much throughout the day. And I treat you so much. I give you all sorts of treats. Oh my god, you perked right up when I said that. Okay, I gotta give you one. Oh yeah, look at you all perked up. Uh-oh. If I keep this up, you might belong in a circus. It's like, fuck Candace Owens. Like, give me a break. No basic fucking knowledge on biology at all. But, of course, I'm asking too much for a conservative to understand, you know, human biology. I mean, it's like, because, like, for fuck's sake, it doesn't really take that much to learn, you know, some of the general basics of shit like this. Because it does, you know, a lot of it does pertain to the environment and shit, because some people live in food deserts, for example, and you can't really get a lot of healthy foods and a lot of good food items and shit because of that, when pretty much all you really got is, like, you know, maybe a Walmart and then just a lot of fast food places like McDonald's and Taco Bell and shit. Like, but, you know, for somewhere where, like, I live, there's a lot more diversity, you know, when it comes to food, so not a food desert. But it's just like, you know, for a lot of people, those type of environmental factors may play a role, even if, like, genetically they're not a predisposition to maybe potentially being overweight, probably will because of just, you know, what's available for food. You know, it's just like, is it their fault? No. You know, same thing with the genetic thing. Did they choose their genes? No. I mean, not, you know, when it comes to being overweight, not all this shit's by choice. In fact, I say most of it really isn't. Like, are there some people out there that probably do? Sure. Like, there definitely are, but for 95% of the time, no, it ain't. It's ridiculous to think so.
Know what she's talking about, because I grew up seeing clinically obese people on TV, and I didn't really think anything about it. Like, one of my childhood favorite movies, which I haven't watched in a while, is Heavyweights, where it was about a bunch of overweight children that go to camp for overweight kids and whatnot. I mean, that movie was very popular. It features Ben Stiller, huge actor. So she's pretending
Heavyweight? I haven't heard of that movie before.
As if that wasn't a thing.
Is this a Disney movie?
Like, her and I are basically the same age. Yes, you did. You're lying. And obese people exist. Should we hide them away from the public? Like, I just don't understand what the expectation is. Like, they want to hide trans people away from the public. They want to hide obese people away from the public. What benefit does this have? Like, what do you think is going to change?
I mean, it's just like, if you basically try to hide away, like, obese people from the public, you pretty much are getting rid of, like, half of America's public. Like, the streets would be, I mean, no pun intended, it would be very sparse. Like, I mean, there wouldn't be a lot of people in some parts of this country. Like, around here, there wouldn't be that much of a difference. But, I mean, but anywhere, like, outside of, like, you know, Portland, where I'm at, yeah, like, half of these towns would basically just, bloop, just be gone. It's like, so, it's like, what the fuck? Like, even more than that in some cases. Like, there's some towns where, like, pretty much almost all their, like, it'd be a ghost town, practically, besides, like, old, you know, Uncle Fudd over there, you know, it's like, how you doing there, youngster? You know, just sitting there on his front porch, just you know, smoking a cigar pipe or some shit, you know, where he's, like, the only skinny dude in town or something. It's like, you're just gonna get, like, ghost towns like that, just dotted everywhere. It's like, what do you think is gonna happen? And also, like, decent chunk of these people also vote for the same motherfuckers, like, you know, maybe not Candace Owens, but, like, you know, people that would also probably advocate the same shit anyway. It's like, oh, there's so many obese people, we gotta do something about this, gotta have more, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you're just, like, shining most of your base, you fucking dipshits. It's like, what, you want them to not, like, show up, you know, for the voting or anything like that either? Because, I mean, if you're wanting to show them from the public, it's also that, too. Because you don't like the whole mail-in voting thing either. So you're all going to freak out about that. So can't have that.
You pretend as if obese people don't exist. Will your kids not grow up to be obese? Like, I don't get it.
Lizzo's music. I think Lizzo is a talented person. It is.
No, you don't, because you wouldn't be saying this shit about her if you thought that. Because if so, then you wouldn't give a fuck about what her, like, what she looks like and shit. Like, because I like a lot of different artists and shit, and I really don't care with how they look like and shit. Even though there are some artists I like that look like, kind of some, especially these days, pretty old and disheveled, looking. I mean, they aren't, but at least, just because they're old, they kind of look like that a little bit, and shit. But whatever, I don't care. They make good fucking music. So, like, who gives a shit? If you actually like, an artist and you think they're talented, like, are you really gonna give a fuck about the looks?
That she's in a room of people that apparently hate her, that keep applauding and celebrating her every effort to die, right?
What? What? Is she trying to say this like, oh, I'm saying this because I actually like her? Oh, it's not because, like, these other people that actually like her that, I think are hating her because they just want her to die quicker. Blah, 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 or some weird fucking bullshit excuse. Like, fucking excuse me, bitch? Like, what the fuck are you even saying here now? Because this doesn't make sense at all. Like, if you think she belongs in a circus, but, like, oh, these people that support her actually hate her, but you don't, then what the fuck are you smoking and where can I get some? Who's your dealer? And because what? Like, how much? Oh my god, how much of a fucking parasitical psychopath are you?
Obesity is the #1 killer in the United States. Heart disease
So is brain rot, but no one talks about that.
that comes from obesity is the #1 killer in the United States.
Okay. So by just simply...
And you know what? Maybe, like, some of those things about, like, food deserts and maybe some other environmental factors, maybe address those, bitch. Like, I don't know, maybe, like, towns and, like, little small towns in America or, like, in cities where some areas of the city have, like, more food deserts in comparison to other parts of the city and shit. I don't know, maybe advocate for legislation and shit, federally or statewide, that it would alleviate those fucking problems and thus help mitigate some of these issues when it comes to, like, obesity and heart disease and shit. And, oh, I don't know, how about universal healthcare, you dumb cunts? Because, I don't know, like, having a more rigorous healthcare system that is more based on the, hey, you sick, you get help, where you can just go into a doctor and they'll be able to treat you for these things, could also potentially help with a lot of these problems too. Because then people don't feel as scared to go to the doctor because they might either, one, be in fucking medical debt for, for whatever, for a shitload of reasons, or be not denied the care anyway, so there's, like, no fucking reason, and, oh, they still have to pay for it. So it's like, instead of people who are especially poor, getting de-incentivized, to fucking go to the doctor and shit, would have more of incentive because it'd be free at the point of service. So, like, I don't know. There's a lot of different aspects that would help alleviate those fucking problems there, Owens. But no, you don't want to advocate for those type of things. You just want to make more buck off of other people's misery, you fucking cretinous bitch.
With Lizzo, you are, according to Candace Owens, effectively saying that she should just die because she's obese?
Yeah, because she just thinks by proxy someone obese, oh, they have heart disease and will die at any second, essentially. Like, this literally is what she fucking thinks. Even though, like, while they have a far higher rate for, like, heart disease and other medical predispositions and shit, that doesn't inherently mean they're going to have that. Like, I mean, just because you have a higher chance of getting something, doesn't mean you're gonna get it all the time. It just means you have a higher chance of, potentially, getting something. Like heart disease and shit. Oh, you have a higher chance just because you're obese. Well, maybe you might not get it, but you do have a higher chance of potentially getting that. I mean, it's like the fuck?
Oh, how you get from point A to point B in this instance is Lizzo saying, hey everyone, I think all of you should be obese, and if you're not obese, you're inferior. Being obese is healthy. Is she saying that?
No. In fact, there's, like, nothing, I'm pretty sure she doesn't talk about her weight or, like, her own, like, personal life that way at all, like, I'd imagine. I don't know anything about her, really, outside of, like, some weird shit about her, making a speech, because Ben Shapiro freaked the fuck out and now Owens is being a cunt, so, like, whatever. She sounds like, she's a pretty cool artist. I mean, she's, seems like a cool person, but haven't listened to her stuff. I don't know. Don't really care too much, but, like, just because I don't know of her shit that much doesn't mean it's, like, I can obviously see some uncalled for bullshit where I see it. And it's just ridiculous uncalled for bullshit.
She's just being herself. You can be comfortable in your own skin, believe it or not, even if you're obese. But she's not saying, I think that you should eat unhealthy and be obese and not exercise. That's not what's happening. She just is obese. Like, she's not inherently making a political statement by being obese. You can just exist as you are without making a statement. Like, trans people, believe it or not.
I mean, honestly, like, if I had to take a random peek in her own personal life, I probably wouldn't be surprised if she does probably at least, try to take more consideration of her own health and try to, address some aspects about that part of her, bodily health and shit, but that's her business. Like, I mean, so, whatever. Like, even if that is the case, no one else should give a fuck, because that's her business. No, y'all business. It's like, it's like, it's her decision whether she wants to try to be more proactive in that thing or not, and if she happens to be comfortable and happy with her own body, then whatever. Like, I mean, that's just one element to it, and that actually is, like, a good thing, if anything. Because if you are, then, like, that's at least, in one part of, being proactive with your own health, too. So, just because one happens to be obese does not mean you aren't healthy. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean, like, you're, like, like, healthier, in comparison to, like, other people and shit. But you can still be healthy and still be overweight. I mean, you're not, that doesn't necessarily mean you have, like, peak health, obviously, but it's a complicated thing. Like, because, a part of this whole thing is the complexity of the human biology and the human body itself, because of, again, environmental factors and genetic factors. Like, there's just some people that are, like, built like a fucking tank and are just, like, big people and shit, and it's not because, they're just overweight and that's it. Like, they just happen to be heavier set people. Like, those are just a part of the human genetics. Those people just exist. And maybe Lizzo's has some of those genes, and thus, she's more of a heavier set person. Who cares? So what? You can still be healthy and be that way.
Making a political statement by being trans.
Like, what's wrong with
Some people just are. And hiding them away...
Oh, wow. It's shocker. What a horrible thing. You just are? Oh, travesty. No, you need to conform into what you ought to be, not what you are.
Any less real. So, I don't get what she's trying to say here. If Lizzo were saying, you all need to eat unhealthy, you need to be obese, get obese right now, I could understand taking issue with that, because we don't want to
I mean, I guess a little bit. Like, if she was basically in her weird little, like, I mean, it wasn't even weird in the first place. Just, like, in her little, like, acceptance speech or whatever the fuck, was just like, y'all need to eat some McDonald's, like, every day, like, McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and evenings, and do nothing but have the McDonald's diet. I'm an advocate. Like, if, she did some shit like that, even I would take problems. It's like, what? I mean, like, because, yeah, that would be like, what the fuck? But she's not. And no one's doing that. Honestly, there's probably, like, some people out there, but I imagine it ain't Lizzo, like, or anyone like her.
Any dangerous lifestyles, right? But there are people who are...
I imagine, like, Bertha, like Bertha and Jim, like, fucking out in, like, Gadsden, Alabama or some shit. It's like, yep, I get McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and evening, because there literally ain't nothing better. There literally ain't nothing better around here. Like, literally, there's just McDonald's or Taco Bell, like, there ain't nothing else.
People who exist that are different from you. That's fine. Like, you shouldn't be ashamed about it. You shouldn't make it seem as if obese people are inferior to you because you're not obese. Like, I guess I don't get the expectation from her. She genuinely just wants people to be hidden from the public if they're not, like, perfect. why do smokers and them being in a room with other people, why are they not sending the same message that Lizzo sends, or perhaps like a similar message that, hey, you should lead this unhealthy lifestyle? Why is it only, Lizzo? Like, it's just so weird.
She's standing in a room and people are applauding her. I just wanted to see people fat like me. Once upon a time,
Did
by
she
the way.
say that though?
No one is. Oh my god, Candace, you stupid cunt! Like, no one is saying that, you fucking bitch. Like, she's not saying that, no one's saying that. Like, you are, but you're, trying to make some stupid fucking point that ain't landing. Outside of your fucking brain-rotted fucking base of chuckle fucks.
Could see people that were that large were at a circus. You had to actually go to a circus to observe people that were that clinically obese. Right now you have Lizzo that is looking around and saying,
Yeah, maybe like we shouldn't otherize people and treat them as if they're like oddities to be laughed at. Jesus, what a horrible thing to say.
Can't see these people on television.
Oh, but I'm saying it because, the people that actually support her hate her, and I actually like her, and I want to see her get better. It's like, fuck you, Candace, you fucking cretin.
See these kinds of people on television. We should not normalize seeing people that are harming themselves every single day.
Like you.
Go to a store.
Like, I mean, you're harming yourself by just being a fucking grifter, tokenistic fucking shitbag for the fucking far right, you bitch. I mean, I guess you ain't hurting your wallet, making a lot of fucking, thickness out of that wallet with all the fucking bills you're, filling up in there. But it's like, if your own integrity and your dignity and whatever, like, shred of, like actual, like, humanity you have left in you and shit is just, like, it's like being harmed, like, every fucking second you're doing this stupid shit, you fucking rotten, greedy-ass little cretin. I guess both work. Tomato. I mean, and also, yeah, like, just go to a store. Like, I mean, I literally, like, work at one, and, I mean, for fuck's sake, there's, like, not everybody, but there's a decent amount of people that are, like, maybe clinically obese or overweight and shit, but so what? In fact, honestly, there's a lot of aspects, like, even medications that, people taking, because I've, been working in the same store for, like, 7 fucking years. So there's people that I've seen who legit have, like, kind of ballooned up over the years and stuff, and knowing them, I know they, have, like, different other health issues that have now basically exacerbated new ones and shit because of medications they've been taking. So it's like even, another, curious, environmental factor that plays a role when it comes to someone maybe or maybe not being overweight. Oh, wow, shocker. Another complexity to the human body and, and everything that revolves around that shit. With, like, genetics and environmental factors and all that shit. Wow, shocker. Some that you probably will never understand there, Candace.
Any grocery store? We live in the United States of America, okay? People are poor, they don't have money or time to cook healthy, or they don't have the wherewithal or knowledge to, cook in a way that is conducive to a healthier lifestyle. Like, you're not going to hide obese people from existence. Like, if you're trying to shield your kids and their innocent eyes from obese people, it's not going to happen. Every single person knows somebody who's obese. Every single person. So for her to say this, what a slap in the face to people who she loves, who, are probably obese.
Going closer and closer to death because they're clinical obese. If Lizzo's fans loved her, if Lizzo's fans appreciate.
So what about, like, all the other factors that, are leading causes of death and shit? Because, there's, like, other things besides obesity that, are pretty high in death toll and shit. You know that, right? Like, I don't know, like, what about car deaths and car accidents, or just, like, accidental gun deaths, as another one, let alone just, like, actual, like, the gun deaths, from, people just killing other people, and, or just, like, even suicidality, or just, like, all these other, factors and shit that probably have a higher death toll than fucking, like, health conditions that, related towards obesity and shit. I mean, heart disease is definitely up there, and that would definitely be one of them, but, when it comes to obesity-related type of condition, but not all, it's, like, also not like every single fucking person that has heart disease is also overweight either. There could be people who aren't overweight and also have heart disease. Like, it's just such a denial of, like, actual fucking science or reality on such a level that it's making my head spin. Just like, oh my fucking god. What a fucking maroon. And it's all just for, you know, monetary gain. This fucking parasitical, cretin piece of shit, dude.
If Lizzo was in a room of people who actually wanted her to be around longer, they would tell her, Lizzo, I am so proud of all of the success that you have found in life, but girl, it is now—
Oh my god, shut up, Candace. Like, you give a fuck.
Time to lose weight. You now have the money—
Go fuck yourself.
Resources to lose
Honestly,
weight.
it would just be so unfortunate if, like, some random, like, health problem happened to, like, Candace Owens where she had to take a medication that just caused her to fucking balloon. Like, that would just be unfortunate, wouldn't it? It's like, oh, hey, Candace Owens, there's this slight little medical issue we noticed, but you just have to take this medication and it should be okay, and we'll just have to check up every now and then and make sure, you know, it doesn't flare up, blah, blah, blah. She's like, okay, blah, 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 you know, and starts taking it, and then just, like, and just balloons the fuck up. Like, oh my god, oh, the karma would just be beautiful, and I'll be here for it.
So you can only love Lizzo.
Not gonna hold my breath for that, but if it happens, goddamn, it's like, oh, were you just saying that, like, obese people should be in a circus? And, oh, well, look at you now. Still think that, bitch?
See her, you berate her for being obese. I hate to say this to you, but if you talk to anyone who is obese or was previously obese, they will tell you the same thing, that just, like, shaming them does not work. Shaming is not an effective—
If anything, it makes it worse. Like, honestly, like, you know, because, like, in a lot of ways, you know, for some, not all of them, but, like, for, you know, some people who are overweight, like, usually escapism does tend to be food in a lot of ways, because, you know, it's comforting. I mean, it can be for me in a lot of ways, too. I mean, but, look at me. I'm a skinny bastard. You know, but, you know, I still got, you know, comfort foods and stuff. You know, when I'm feeling down, I'll just kind of snack on some stuff. You know, because, I mean, there's, you know, merit to stuff like that, but, you know, when it comes to, you know, like, just shaming someone for being overweight and thinking that's going to improve, you know, their shit is not going to do any of that at all. It's going to be quite the opposite, where it's like you're going to be doing more harm to that person, and if anything, making that worse, because they're going to go into whatever escapism they may have, and chances that might be food, and, or at least in some part, food, and because of that, they're going to, you know, gain more weight. And so it's like, if you want to help them, you actually have to, like, encourage them and actually be supportive of them. You can't just demean them and, you know, try to, like, you know, think that, oh, well, you know, look at you being a beach whale, blah, 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 or some shit's gonna make it better. Because it doesn't. You actually have to be encouraging and supportive. Curious, wow. That's as if how, like, humans work. If you encourage and support them, they tend to be more confident and incentivized to, you know, do something. Because, you know, the whole idea of, like, hey, got your back, you know, type of thing, where it's like, hey, you got, you know, somebody has your back, you know, when doing something, and encouragement, you know, like, just, you know, things that revolve around, like, empathy and being a fucking human being.
Anyone. And I should know, I've tried to hound my mom, for example, to quit smoking for decades, and it hasn't worked. Losing weight is very, very difficult, and you can lose weight, but there are other factors that make it really difficult. Like, some people are on medications that make them balloon up. I was on, you know, I can't remember, it was Paxil or something like that, and I gained like 30 pounds. It took me forever to lose that weight, so it's difficult. If you see somebody who's obese, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not trying to lose weight. Perhaps somebody is overweight, but they dropped 100 pounds. Like, just, here's the main takeaway, right? Just stop trying to be a busybody, mind your own fucking business, and just have a base level of respect for people, okay? Don't just automatically assume that an obese
no shit.
person is gonna be like, oh, hey, I think you should be like me. They're, like, odds are, like, they're trying to work on themselves. We're all trying to work on ourselves. Just, like, try to be understanding. And most importantly, don't be a piece of shit. Like, don't compare obese people to circus freaks to be laughed at and pointed at. Like, don't do that. But this is what conservatives do. They think that they are better than everyone, and anyone else who is not perfect like them are to be laughed at.
I mean, honestly, because, like, there is, like, a strong sense of God complex, you know, within, like, a lot of, you know, just conservative shit, because they do have this sense of superiority and betterness amongst other people. I mean, you see a lot of Karens, and, like, this hyper God complex of, like, No, excuse me, I'm actually in the right no matter fucking what. Like, fuck you, damn it, you know, and all this shit. I mean, it's the same type of thing. Where you have a lot of these, you know, especially like racist Karens and shit that are essentially, you know, think, oh, I'm better than you, so I'm always in the right, fuck you. Like, that's just how they feel, so they think anything that they say or do when it comes to people that they don't like or consider like circus freaks or inferior or lesser than or dehumanized in their mind and shit, they don't give a fuck. They think it's all justified.
So as not to upset the Puritans and the perfect people in society. Well, no. We're all imperfect as human beings, and hiding obese people away from the public isn't going to make their existence any less real. So, shut up, Candace Owens.
Yeah, for real. Shut up. It's like you should make her the new Meg. Shut up, Meg. Or it should just be, shut up, Candace. No one cares. No one cares, Candace. Shut up. Aw. Look at you, you little gummy bear. Look like a little gummy worm. Ooh. DFF's public episode is gonna pop for tomorrow. Disney versus source material and popular psychological phenomena. Whoa. That is a weird, like, double episode back-to-back thing. Disney and the source material of like some of their stories, and then just popular psychological. Wow, that sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. If you're mirrored and you had your other legs just sprawled out, like all wide, you look like a rug. But you look like half a rug. You straight up look like half a rug. You're part rug. You're a rug dog. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at you. You sleepy little boy. There. Is there anything else on the tube by chance, or there really ain't too much else? Some of that shit was, if anything, from like a day or two ago. Outside of the draw, everything that was super fresh, but dope. I approved of it because it kind of at least made me more aware of wanting to keep my ear closer to what Brazil's going on through. Because it sounds like their shit will get tense pretty quickly. Especially leading up to the first round of the elections. So, oh boy. Yeah, there really ain't too much. Boo. That sucks. Boo. I can always check out the Reddit, see what's going on there too. Oop. There we go. Oh, sometime in the middle of that earlier video, I got a little text from work. Just want to make sure all that shit was go good. Might do a noon instead of 9 to 5. Noon to 8. Yay. That's actually a little better. Might show up just a tad early anyway. Maybe like, I don't know, 11. Look at you being all sleepy. Oh, you looked right back up after I said that. Yeah, you're not really totally sleepy yet, huh? Zukoff, you're looking like a major cuddle monster right now. But you're over there. Sit over here. Because it would just like... I just hold on to him right now, but unfortunately I can't. Boo. Makes me sad. Can't just be over here? Get some loves and scritches? No, I guess not. Jerk. Jerk. I guess there really isn't too much else on Toooooo. Yeah, let's go on that. Let's go on the Reddit. See what's going on there. What do you have for me over Reddit? Anything of interest? Where are you, Reddit? There you are. Let's see what you got. What do you got, Reddit? What the fuck? The first thing is public freakout. Naked man in a mall receives swift boink. Well, can't show this, obviously, but I kind of want to see this. What the fuck? He's just casually just...
Sir, you need to leave our store. Sir, you're not going to get famous doing this. You need to go.
Well, he did. Well, he's not totally naked. He has a mask on. He just also has like a Gatorade jug bottle. Like one of those, like, not like a huge one, but like one of those like medium-sized ones that are like, yeah, it's like, what is he doing? He's gonna get a boink? Where's that? Oh, I kind of want to see.
What?
Oh shit! What the fuck? What was that? What did he just get fucking smacked with? Whoa!
What?
Oh, damn! Oh man, I really wish I could show this, because that was actually fucking funny. He just came out of nowhere and went boom with, what is that even? I could show this. What is that? What does he even have? I don't even know what tool that is. Like a gigantic hoe? I don't even know. But like, oh my god, it's just out of nowhere, like, bwomp, just right on the back of the head. That was a knockout, dude. Holy shit.
Whoa.
Oh damn, he just walked off. He just like bonk, dropped whatever it was, and just walked right the fuck off. Dude, that's like some Chad maneuver shit. Like, yeah, he ain't getting up after that. It's like, security will can take care of the rest. Like, yeah, he ain't getting up after that. I just want to know why he's holding a fire extinguisher. Was that what it actually was? Was it a fire extinguisher? Oh my god, it actually was. Yeah, it was a fire extinguisher. Yeah, what the fuck? I thought it was a Gatorade jug or something. Obviously, the other guy was overwhelmed by his physique. Guy couldn't handle the heat he was packing. Whoa, this, yeah, I feel like there's like some contest. He's a psychosis on drugs. If you'll hit him with the shovel, can be charged, and someone over the head of a shovel is just plain stupid in a situation like that. You could have killed the guy, caused serious brain damage. So you could have been called. Yeah, I mean, it's not a shovel, it's a stand. Wait, that's what it was? He took like some fucking stand? There, like, I feel like there's like more questions than answers to the video I just saw. He first took a stand, and then he took a stand. God damn it, fucking Reddit. Yeah. Jesus Christ. What do I do? I'm 16. I can work today. I put on my availability. I can only work Friday. Yes. Oh wait. So wait. What's this? Yeah. Sorry. I thought I was only scheduled for tomorrow, but I'll be there soon today. Hi. Rabara. What? Okay. Would you mind working 6:30 to 11 today? RCC called in sick. Sorry, can't today. Can you come in and help us out today? You are busy if you call in sick. Sorry, I'm busy today. Based on your availability, based on you available, we hired you. You must come in today. If you don't come in to work, I'll let you know. And you don't need to come in for your next shift. Thank you. What the fuck? If your availability is only for fucking Friday, then it's only for fucking Friday. So fuck yourself. Like, what the fuck? Like, if you can't because, well, your availability when you put in when you were hired, it was Friday, then that's your only availability. Like, Jesus Christ. It's like, oh, well, even though, like, you're only available for, like, one day of the week, you know, despite that, you know, because of your availability, if you don't show up, you know, when we demand you to, you're not going to be, you know, employed here anymore, so fuck you. What else is on there? With protests in Iran intensifying, what is the possibility or possible ramifications if another event like the Arab Spring happened? I don't believe it's likely. However, if these protests are ultimately successful in Iran, is there a possibility of spillover? What countries do you think would most likely to participate in nationwide protests? What would be the geopolitical effects be? Huh. It's actually kind of an interesting question. I mean, I could see spillover, because there's a possibility that, like, you know, countries, maybe not necessarily Saudi Arabia, but maybe, like, countries that are adjacent allies, like Jordan, Egypt, maybe. I don't know, maybe Saudi Arabia, too. I mean, I could see spillover happening for something like this. But I'm just going to be more curious, like, how more intense, you know, the actual protests in Iran would get. Because, I mean, like, considering that they haven't stopped protesting that much at all since the shit's happened, I mean, I'm imagining that things are only going to just, you know, slowly intensify. Because someone says they see it going one of three ways. Iran has seen dissent like this ever since the theocrats took power, so while it's getting a lot of attention, the current riots aren't necessarily unique. You can see a lot of blood spilled while regime reasserts its dominance. However, since Israel and Turkey, I think Iran has the best opportunity to become a modernized country due to its history of education because of Western model. So, live in memory of a lot of the population. I also think there's a third outcome where there's another revolution, but it ends up just being the Arab Spring 2.0, and Iran ends up with even worse circumstances it started with. Well, I don't know. I guess best case scenario, it could be like Tunisia, where they had like some of the more better outcomes from the Arab Spring, but yeah, I don't know. Like, the worst elements of power so far in Iran are the government that's in power. So a lot of the youth, you know, are very rebellious against that. So, I mean, I'd imagine if, like, some of the, I don't know, like, I guess there could be, you know, a case of that, but I imagine if it was like a revolution, Arab Spring type situation, it would actually be a fairly successful one. With, you know, maybe not like a great outcome, but at least definitely a good one, I would think. Just, you know, because it'd definitely be better than what's going on now. But it would definitely take, you know, a little bit of time, you know, for shit to get restabilized, you know, for something like that anyway. So, you know, there could be possibility, like, in some rural areas of Iran, you know, there could be some factionalization and, you know, like warlords or subgroups, you know, kind of taking power in certain regions and shit. So, you know, it's like, there's definitely room for that. I mean, quite literally, too. Iran's, it's not a small country. So, there's a lot of mountainous rural land and a lot of rural desert regions out in Iran and shit, so definitely a lot of, you know, a lot of space. Also, I kind of hope things improve in Iran and things actually get better and there's a positive turn for Iran because of this shit. Because I'd love to visit Iran, honestly. There's, the place looks really cool. And, some aspects about, the culture and shit look really awesome and stuff, especially considering the more rebellious youth of some of that, going on right now. There's just, a lot of stuff about, Iran that I just love to check out, and check out the people there, the cuisines, the food, some of the local music and shit. There's a lot of stuff I'd love to see about Iran. Sure shit wouldn't visit under his current regime, though. But if they end up having a more democratic regime that came out of it, and a democratic government, then, oh yeah, I'd love to. Am I part of that subreddit? The political discussion subreddit? Yep. Okay. Just want to make sure. It's a fun little subreddit to check out every now and then. Any other? What's this? Man shows female police how job is done. What? What's this?
What are you just reaching for? Please, stop resisting. I didn't do anything. What's this address? What's this address? Ow. 3 Adams. 5.
Jesus Christ.
Let go.
What the fuck? I can show this.
What are you just reaching for? Please, stop resisting. I didn't do anything. What's this address? What's this address? Ow. 3 Adams. 5. 650. 650. Let go.
I like how just the whole pile of socks just come down too with him.
Let's go. Over here. Over here.
He almost got away, I guess. Guess he was stealing shit? So he was thief, tough to tell? No, he didn't do anything, I'm gonna say it. Oh yeah, because, I mean, just because someone says they didn't do anything doesn't mean they did something, so, yeah. But, I get the sarcasm, though. He also tried to reach for something when he was also already being fucking, they should not be paired together ever again. Yeah, they probably shouldn't. I mean, but also, yeah, because everything, well, you know what, no. Just because, hey, they were competent as fuck and they almost had, some petty thief get away and shit. I mean, I don't think anybody was in the right. I think everyone was kind of in the wrong. You probably shouldn't be a petty thief, but whatever. If you're stealing some socks and shit, whatever, not a big fucking deal. But, the cops trying to, stop resisting, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're in the wrong, too. But where you're in kind of the right is being incompetent as fuck. just being pigs as usual. But, what else is, oh my god, so many fucking lengthy ass things. I'm just here for, random comments, bro. Not lengthy essays. They better take down Texas if they can't rely on stream. Yeah, I don't even know what they were trying to do. Just, put their weight on them? I don't even know. And just collapse on them and hope that they just can suffocate them with just their body weight or something. I don't know. Oh my god. I wonder what those were. Deleted comments. I always wonder what those are. Wait, what was this? Wait, what? Oh, it's what's this one? Personally, I want to help with that because I don't have qualified immunity for when things go wrong. Yeah. True. Yeah, he has no legal justification using force on a guy. I mean, yeah, for real. Like, maybe holding him and just be like, no, you're not going anywhere. Like, I mean, they're actually, these guys, yeah, they're actually kind of right. That's why I'm saying no one's in the right. Like, I mean, really, the dude should have just fucked off and mind his business. Like, hey, it's not your problem. It's, you know, the store and the police officer's issue. Mind your biz. Like, you know, if you want to help, trip the guy. You know, stick your leg out or something. I don't know. Like, I mean, just, like, fuck off beyond that. Like, there's no reason to fucking, you know, try to get heavily involved in some stupid petty shit like that. I mean, if the guy, like, had a fucking knife and was about to try to, like, stab a motherfucker, I can understand that. But even then, like, I mean, I'd exceptionally, you know, get the fuck away from that because I don't want to get stabbed. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Personally, I want to help with that because fuck. Yeah, true. It's my, yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, yep. This is my second reason not to help, lol. Yep. Exactly. Oh my god, I scrolled through a lot just to read some fucking comments. Hold on, I should take a second because of that naked guy that got hit with the shit. Just in case I hit that dude again. Patriot Front called 911 when their cars got smashed while they were rallying to demand a whites-only USA. Oh, did some white supremacist little cocksuckers get their cars all smashed? Oh, did their little cars get smashed? Oh, how cute. It's like, give me a break, you little sad fucking sacks of shit. Be glad that's all that happened to your fucking cars, you stupid sacks of bitches.
What? The body cam?
Oh, but mine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it going to be public?
This is always public information, yes. Yes.
Can I choose not to have a kid?
No, this is
well.
He's just like, fuck, oh, this is embarrassing because I just basically want to be like a fat neck beard that just wants a white-only America, and I don't really want to talk about all that. Oh my god, what a sad, embarrassed little cuck. Go fuck yourself, dude. I'm so glad. This is why body cam footage should, one, be recording from the, the exact moment the officer puts on the vest and for his shift and starts his day. Like that moment, like, you know, we should first be able to see like it recording, you know, when he's like closing the locker door for his shift and shit. Like, and everything from, you know, opening that locker door as he's getting his vest off, like, you know, everything from between that shit. You know, so like, one, that should be the case, and two, like, I mean, yeah, it should all be public information, and there should be online somewhere where it's public access to where you can easily access any of the information that I need to, and streamline it so it's easily to navigate. It's like, hey, where's your you know, state that you live in? For me, it'd be Oregon. Oh, what county in Oregon? And then you just see what county you're in, click that, and then you'll be able to see, like, you know, more specifically which precinct and, you know, the specific officers of those precincts and so on and so forth. Make it a very streamlined, you know, type of website or some shit, and it'd be fucking a excellent fucking tool. If those two were nailed and very strict penalties where there's no ifs, ands, buts, you're immediately getting terminated if you fuck with that body cam type of shit, those three right there, I mean, you know, it'd be a pretty good set of accountability when it comes to officers and shit. Yoko Ryan obtained this footage from Prince George County Police Department and leaked in a leak of Patriot Front videos.
Everything is being recorded as well, visibly and audibly. So everything we're saying, like I'm saying, is everything being recorded. Just to let y'all know.
So you got all angles.
Yeah.
You got that camera, you got this camera, you got those cameras, you got these.
Everything.
Oh yeah. Thanks, boy.
Oh yeah, thanks, boy. Late on December 4th, 2021, anti-fascists located Patriot Front's vehicle exchange parking in Maryland and damaged neo-Nazis' cars while they marched in D.C. A logistical nightmare ensued for the racists who traveled from across the USA to attend the event. Awesome.
The windows busted, paint all on them.
Shield back there?
What's that?
Why you got a shield back there?
It's just extra stuff for my body.
extra stuff for my buddy, you know, I'm not gonna really say why that's there. I was gonna probably, you know, use that to bash some person that I think is like some commie queer and, you know, with, you know, like I was gonna do that with that, but I'm not gonna really say that. Oh my god! Oh my god, that's fucking awesome! Holy shit, this is some good shit right here. Oh, this is some good shit, brother, I tell you what. Oh my god.
What's Patriot Front? What is that?
Come on, come on.
Oh, come on. Yeah, oh, even that guy is saying it. Yeah, fuck you, pig. Yeah, you know. Shut up. Like, you fucking know. You're always saying that for the body cam, that's all. Like, even that white supremacist, like, oh, come on, you know. Like, I mean, you're one of our buddies. You're like, I mean, you were the guy that, you know, was, you know, said that couldn't come along, remember? It's like, I mean, give me a break.
Not stupid. Okay.
Well, it's pink paint on these. Well, it's white paint on some of these. It look like primer paint. And some cars got pink paint. And then the bus got spray painted with pink paint, and they smashed the
Patriot fail.
window.
Patriot. Patriot Front? Yeah, bro, I'm like, yeah, we're talking to him, I'm like, bro, it's making sure they're not like the Antichrist or something.
Gotta make sure they're not like the Antichrist or something. Well, okay. It looks like they tried to wipe it off with their windshield wipers and shit.
So that's a hate nationalist group.
Well, he's just literally looking it up on his phone, probably looking at the first Wikipedia result or like the first Google result.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like we're not gonna find out.
Patriot Front member Kevin Liley guarded the group's cars during DC March and then called the police as he fled. He fled? Oh, of course, what a little bitch. The police counter begins as Corporal Yordi Diaz. Prince George County, the police department responds to Lowry's call. Diaz quickly notices Lowry was grinding on his truck rims after 2 tires were slashed. Lowry cites the police claiming that his friends were on a hike. Oh, it sounds like you're lying to the police there. Lowry later admits that his neo-Nazi friends were actually marching in D.C. while claiming he was not part of Patriot Front. He's a registered member. Wow, so lying to police officers while they're enacting an investigation sounds like a crime. Sounds like a felony, buddy. It'd be funny if you got caught, you know, in charge of that.
Man.
I'm invested in this. I actually kind of hope at the end of this we see something about Kevin Lowry getting fucking charged with falsifying information during an investigation.
I don't know. Maybe they wanted to steal I don't know, dude.
So what happened?
Okay. So I'm sitting in the parking lot of the community park. The dispatcher said it was at 160 on Riverview Road. Sitting in my truck, I'm on my laptop. I'm doing some work on my laptop in my truck, waiting for my friends who are
doing some work.
And all of a sudden, I hear noises like pounding against my car. I look up, my windshield, see it covered in paint. They're grabbing at my door, and then when I look over to my left, I saw what I thought looked like a handgun to me.
You saw a black object that looked like a handgun?
Yes, sir.
Did they point it at you?
I don't know. It was too quick.
Okay,
But it scared the shit out of me.
Okay.
So no handgun was involved. Like he's just lying that there was a handgun.
They painted my windows, and then...
So you saw a black object and you thought it was a handgun?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
alright.
sir. And at this side of the truck, towards my car.
He's just saying that he saw a black guy with a handgun. That's all he saw. I saw a black man with a gun. Ah, look what they did.
Like that?
Yes, sir. I drove with my head out the window because I couldn't...
What a sad little fucking racist little neckbeard bitch, dude.
for the studio now.
So how many of them?
I 2 at least. Minimum 2.
2 of them at least?
Yes, sir.
Probably at least maybe 6 or 8 of them, if I had to take a guess. Because if there was a bunch of cars here and they did all this, then chances there was at least more than 2. 2 of them just happened to hit this car.
You have ID on you?
Yes, sir.
You sure this wasn't your girlfriend, man?
Hell no.
Okay.
Sure, this wasn't like a disgruntled ex. I mean, you know what? There's an off chance there probably is. He actually responded really quickly of, hell no, man. Like, like, I mean, he was kind of making a joke, because I think he thinks that, yeah, probably not an ex-girlfriend thing, but, I mean, like, now I kind of think there might be. Maybe, like, he had, like, a more liberal ex-girlfriend or some shit at one point, and she kind of spites this fucking piece of shit, and kind of knew that he was doing this a little bit, because she still follows him secretly on Facebook or something like that, and was like, hey, let me just hit up a few friends that I know, and just let them know a little bit about this, and boom. Dude, you know what? I bet that's, I have a hunch that's probably what happened. I have a hunch that is probably what happened. Because this is pretty awesome. I mean, maybe it isn't. I mean, it is just a hunch. I mean, chances are it probably ain't. But the way you quickly responded to that makes me feel like that might be a possibility.
I don't know what they wanted, but they attacked me. How long did
Oh, they wanted you to go fuck off in the little rat sewer that you belong to because you're a Nazi. So, that's what they wanted.
I just drove as fast as I could to get away because I thought they had a gun. From where? From the community at 101.
From New York, what are you doing down here?
My friends are hiking.
Where they're hiking at?
I don't, somewhere in D.C.
Okay.
Or they're marching in D.C. or something like that.
Okay.
Sounds like you kind of, you know, changed the story there a little bit there, buddy. I kind of want to see some of the comments on this. I bet they weren't happy when a black officer showed up. Black officer was he really enjoyed himself. Well, this is weird. Pat downs in the woods don't seem to be paying off. Never got funneled instantly before by anyone. Yeah, I know what video he's talking about. I know exactly what he's talking about. I understand that reference. So if you go to jail, you spread your to make sure you don't have contraband. These guys are probably just preparing for that day, so they aren't. So there aren't any surprises. The prison wallet. Let's call it prison pocket. Oh my god. Oh man, terms that even I never knew before. Jesus Christ, oh god. To prison pocket or the prison wallet, oh god. Jesus. Oof. Here. Oh, there's that naked dude, okay. What's this? Oh. Afghan National Police performing jumper jacks on the direction of U.S. What? Why is this so on public freakout? It's like some military shit. Okay, whatever. Pointing a toy gun at multiple police officers. What? Why is this a fucking thing? What? Okay. I'm ACAB and shit, but bruh, I would not be this much of a fucking idiot, dude. Why is this music a thing? Why? Okay, the music is really annoying. Okay, so what's the context of this? Was he just, like, chilling around with a toy gun? I mean, it's obviously a toy gun. But this motherfucker had a death wish. That's gotta stink. Permadeath speedrun. Suicide by suicide by absurdism. I mean, I feel like there is some context missing to that video, because, like... No, you put it down. Where do I put it down? Wait, was that being said in our video room by shit? Yeah. Fortunately, do upload it with the music. maybe when he gets out of jail or hospital, he'll upload without it. He's got a bright gun. Yeah, he's not very bright, but all that brightness went to the gun. But, yeah, I feel like there's some context to it that's missing, because, like, I feel like maybe he was just, like, outside, you know, just chilling with it. And then someone freaked out thinking, oh my god, I think I see somebody with a gun. And then these cops showed up, and he's like, what the fuck? You can see it's a toy gun, and they're all literally, like, freaking out and shit. I don't know, like, I mean, I feel like there's context missing that just makes that kind of hard to understand. But, let's... Nah, well, Jesus. Oh, here, let me mute these. There we go. That'll help. Nadis Najavi, Iranian protested to mandatory hijab, got murdered by the police last night. She got shot 6 times in the head and neck and heart. Jesus fucking Christ. Man, every time I hear some shit about that, about the protests going on there and what the fucking jackals are doing there, like, the more and more it just seems to be getting more fucking brutal and bloodier. These people, and the people out there better be, you know, start fighting even more harder. And start, I don't know, you know, doing some, like, you know, some buybacks of the firearms that some of the police have and shit, because I feel like, you know, the cops don't need them anymore. I don't think it's necessary for the police to be having those firearms anymore, you know what I mean? But that's just me. Oh, look at it. Oh, it's got some interesting stuff. Always a roller coaster. That much is for certain. But I think I'll get myself one more bowl smoked out and all that fun goodness. And then, yeah, all good for the last little bit of the evening. Here we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Now I need to just kind of figure out what I want for food. Because I know that's going to be coming up pretty soon for myself. Or I'm going to want some delicious goodness. Just like, Got some pizzas. Got some burritos. I got some stuff that would be pretty good, but I'm just like, Where's Rose? Where's that little floofball dork? Oh, there you are. You're so silly. You're so cute. Might give you a caramel popcorn if you come over here. Oh. I don't think he will. He's plopped. But anyway, I'll call it good for the rest of the evening, so peace out, and of course,